Was you ready?
Yeah.
I was born ready.
Were you though?
No.
Can we leave that in?
Came out the womb. I'm like, Mum, I'm ready to talk about anime titties.
I'm fucking ready.
Oh my god.
Ready to get this bread, gamers.
Welcome to this episode of Trash Taste. I am Monkey Brain, and here today I have two Galaxy Brains.
Yes.
You are correct on that.
Anything is to go by.
If the
Except when it comes to chess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When this comes out.
The only thing I'm competent at, apparently. That's it. Everything else, I'm just rubbing sticks together, man.
This goldfish brain.
Yeah, man. I just can't fathom anything else in my life. So what can I do? I'm useless, man. Shout out to everyone who defended me for my monkey brain. Today, I want to talk about fellas. I had a thought last night. I was like, wow, I've got my life together.
We all know that's a lie. No one just thinks that.
Okay. I've got my life more together.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's better.
And I was wondering, I'm like, well, I've had like a drastic life change from moving to Japan. And that's not because of anything to do with Japan.
Right.
That's purely because of, I think, the fact that someone's holding me accountable.
Yeah.
Before, if I fucked up a sponsor, it was on me.
Yeah.
Right now, there's someone else involved. I was wondering, because I'll explain mine, but did you when you guys moved to Japan, and maybe when you joined the agency, did your life change that much? Did you like have a lifestyle change, or was it just same shit?
I think the biggest change for me has been actually this podcast.
Yeah.
Where we
Yeah.
have a specific day we come in and film, and having something on my schedule is just completely changed my entire weekly schedule. Just because I have one day that's always booked off and have to like plan around that, instead of being like, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna feel like maybe I'll feel like working on something today, maybe I'll just feel like playing Ghost of Tsushima. I don't fucking know.
There's nothing worse, I feel, than like it being a Monday morning, right? It's a fresh start to a new week, and you're like, all right, let's see what I have to do this week. And you look on your calendar, it's just nothing this week. I'm just like, what do I do? Like, how do I do things now?
Especially after quarantine, you just wake up and you don't even know what day of the week it is. And weekends don't feel like weekends.
Yeah.
Weekdays are just other days. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
most
just-
people wake up being like, oh yes, it's a Friday, it's the end of the week. I just wake up and it's like, it is morning.
That is what. But YouTubers every day is the same day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
When everyone started working from home and everyone was like, yes, this is such a refreshing change to my lifestyle.
And we're just like, yeah.
Yeah, welcome to
I mean,
the YouTuber lifestyle.
It's fun when everyone's doing it and everyone's in the same boat. But then when everyone's doing their normal life and working, it's like it's hell.
I mean, that's how I felt though. Like when we, as you said, like we started to be like, all right, every week, this day, this time, we're going to come to the studio
it's
or
really
the office,
nice.
right?
I do like that.
And I'm just like, this is how normal people feel. This
You
is
have an
quite
office?
liberating.
I drink
kinda
coffee
like
with
it.
other people.
I know.
No, it's great because when I worked at the BBC, I worked there for like 2 years, like close to 3 years, and I did not enjoy it after a while. But after moving to YouTube and being freelance and just going by my own schedule, I kind of missed the office environment because about like a year after doing YouTube, I kind of realized, man, if I don't actively go out and seek social interaction, it just doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. That took me like 3 or 4 years to realize that. So wait, do I have no friends? Unless they like drag me out? Like, that's weird.
I kind of got that same thing because I never had like a business, like a corporate experience, right? Like working in an office or whatever. So it's like extra exciting for me. Because I'm just, because it is liberating. Because I've always been, even during school, I've always been one of those kids where it's like, I couldn't study on my own. Like I had to, like,
you're one of those.
Yeah, like I couldn't go home and just sit in my room by myself.
What do you mean one of those?
Like when they'd always be like, "You want to study together?" I'm like, "No."
Oh no, I was always like, yes.
No, I'm exactly the same as
because
Connor,
I can't, because I know that if I go home and I'm in my own room, then I'm not going to want to study because no one's judging me for just being like, well,
but
I
when
could
I'm-
just like play some games.
Yeah.
But when I'm around my friends, I want to talk to my friends.
No, same here. we never when there was always a group study session, we'd have in university. I remember we'd always have like the first hour was like nice and productive. We'd start going over problems, and then it would just people would get bored, and then we would just
You
talk
want to watch
about
this YouTube video?
yeah, exactly.
That's always what would happen.
No, I was a model Asian son, so I genuinely just like, hey, do you want to go to the library and do some study
I don't
sessions?
fucking
And we're
bel-
like,
I don't
all right.
believe you. I
And then
don't-
we put our headphones in and we just study because if there's people around
That's
me,
a fucking lie.
No,
There's no
legit.
way. There's no way that we all met up and we
Yeah.
all studied.
Yeah.
It's like
Why do you think I'm so galaxy brain?
I'll tell you the real MVP, which wasn't my lecturer, but my actual real lecturer was shout out to those Indian YouTube lectures that were always uploaded.
Khan Academy re-uploads.
Yeah.
If you,
Wait, what's that?
it's like if you did maths or anything engineering, like there was always like this channel. I can't remember. It might have been Khan Academy or something like that, where they would just upload the lectures that are shorter and way more informative.
Yeah.
Oh, like kind of like Cliff Notes.
Yeah, but like somehow they explained it better in 10 minutes than the 2-hour lecture you went to.
Yeah. You go to a lecture, you sit there for an hour, you wouldn't take any of this in.
Yeah.
And then when you're revising, you search up, hey, X topic, like how do I do second order I can't even fucking say integers. And there'd just be always it was always an Indian guy doing the lectures. I don't know why.
They just know maths, man.
I know, right?
They get it, man.
Yeah, I never had anything like that.
Yeah.
I just went the
traditional
route.
If you did anything maths or engineering, at some point an Indian man on the internet would save you. Like that's just how it is. Like that's just because I don't know why.
Is that maybe like only a UK thing?
No. Because like it was like Americans too, I think, would use these.
Really?
Things. Yeah,
I think it's an engineering thing. Must be an engineering thing.
Yeah, I never
maybe.
did engineering.
Or the sciences.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I never had anything like that. I mean, I had like Indian lecturers like at school who were like teaching me stuff, and they were usually like the best lecturers. But
there's so many in engineering.
Yeah, I didn't have like any YouTube. I wish I had like a YouTube channel that I could just fucking go onto and be like, yes, solve all of my problems for me, please, thank you. So I don't have to go to classes ever.
Dude, I felt so OP when I went to university and it was in English, and I was like, wait, the internet's useful to the work. Because like Welsh internet like isn't really a thing. So anytime I'd want to like cheat, I just couldn't, because I couldn't Google any of this shit.
Right.
So I didn't know what I was looking up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, man. Oh my God. My lifestyle in university was so unhealthy. Were
Yeah.
you guys really unhealthy in
Oh,
university?
definitely. I remember.
Is there any uni student who lives a healthy life?
There was one guy in my like year, and he was like the peak form of everything. He like wouldn't drink. He went gym like every single day, and he always was the best at
But
his
like,
work.
Sounds like he had fun.
What clubs was he part of? Because I remember people who were like part of the rowing club or some kind of sports club would have always the peak optimal lifestyle, and then there was like everyone else who just like.
Yeah, but they would usually be the one where they would be walking down, the campus, and people would know that they're part of the club, and everyone would just be like, "Look at this wanker."
Yeah, because they wear like I'm in this club. Everyone look at me. I'm in
Like,
this
look at this
club.
wanker wearing a polo shirt. He can afford a polo shirt. Get out of here. Fuck off.
I feel like because I went straight into YouTube from uni.
Yeah,
Like
you got the uni lifestyle.
I kind of just didn't change anything except for like I even had an approach to YouTube making in uni. Like I was like procrastinating my videos the way I was doing with my lectures.
Right.
Where I would like not do anything, and then one day I would just do everything. And I'd be like, wow, what a healthy
I
lifestyle.
was the opposite, because I started YouTube when I started uni.
Yeah, same.
Right,
same,
so I
same.
kind of live like a double life, but usually it's supposed to be the opposite, where it's like you should focus on your studies, right, and like keep maintaining
I mean,
that, live the model life as a uni student, and then YouTube, just because it's a hobby, right, you can just procrastinate and just do whatever. No, for me it was the complete opposite. I was like, all right, upload videos every day at this time, get it edited, get it done. Oh shit, I have an assignment in 2 days.
I think
Fuck, all right.
everyone who's like seeing good growth does that though, because I knew that I should have put engineering first, but I didn't.
No.
I put the YouTube first.
Yeah, I don't know how you managed to do daily uploads while also going to university and still pass.
Let's
I
plays.
mean-
Let's plays.
Yeah, Let's Plays will do it, man. It's some of the easiest content that I've
Yeah.
ever made. And like also, like compared to videos now, I wouldn't call my old videos good editing, because there was barely any editing in it.
Cuts.
It was like
Yeah.
lots of cuts, lots of zoom ins. It's like the easiest fucking editing. Put some background music in, boom, you got a video, right? But yeah, my computer, because I really struggle with that, because obviously the upload speed in Australia is fucking horrendous. Like, do
As
you
is
want
internet.
to? Yeah, the internet.
Yeah.
Like the download was fine. We had like 20 down, right? Which is like
very
not
impressive.
bad, right? But do you know what our upload speed was?
Like 0.1.
Pretty close, like 0.3.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
So uploading a like 500 meg video file,
Yeah.
right, which is like nothing, right?
Yeah.
Would take me like 8 hours. Jesus. So what I would have to do is I would go to my classes, I'd come back, I would work on a video, I'd edit it until the night, and then I would upload it and then go to sleep. And then by the time I got up in the morning, usually it was like almost finished or it was done. and it would just be public by that point. And I would do that every day for 3 years. And unsurprisingly, it was like, I think it was like a month before I decided to move to Japan.
Right.
My computer just exploded.
Wouldn't
Like
surprise
it
me.
physically, like I was sitting there, I was editing. I remember I was editing a Nekopara episode
Right.
that I was doing, and then one day it just went boom.
It's Nekopara. That's Nekopara. Like,
It just exploded. Like the CPU just exploded, and the smoke coming up and everything. I'm like, oh my. This house is gonna go down. Like this house is gonna
Mom,
catch on
get
fire.
out, get out, Mom.
This
Like,
is how the
get out.
bushfire starts.
Yeah, this is how like house fires start. And yeah, so we got rid of it, and I remember I opened up the computer, and my CPU was just gone. It was just disintegrated.
It must have been constantly on. You must have never turned it off.
Constantly on. It was
Right.
constantly on, and yeah, and the computer was just like, nah, can't do it anymore, man.
Wait, did you live at home when you were at university?
Yeah.
Oh shit, that must have
Yeah.
been such a different experience. 'Cause
Yeah.
Yeah, because I never got the experience of like living in like a dorm, right?
Because I
Or,
moved
having
out.
roommates.
I moved out at 18. I just turned 18, and I've pretty much lived alone, or like not with my parents since then.
Yeah, I moved out after uni.
Sounds like a fun idea until it's really not after about 2 months of living with other people
Yeah.
that you realize, man, I really hate people. They're like,
Well, because
Yeah.
you don't get a say in who you're put with in at least British
Yeah.
university.
Oh, really?
And yeah, sometimes you get put with people who you're like, I hate
Yeah.
this. I was put with like the rugby team, basically.
Right.
And they were like destroying everything constantly. And
Yeah.
I remember one time, I had like a pan specifically for putting oven pizzas on, right? And he was like, can I borrow it? And I was like, well, you know, he's like 7'10", built like a brick shit house. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
sure. It was like a 1 pound tray from Lidl, right? I was like, yeah,
Right.
sure. Anyway, I go in the kitchen at night to go and get like a beverage, and I see my pizza tray, and there's just a carcass of a whole chicken. A whole chicken was cooked on my pizza tray, and he just left it. And I was like, there's no way I can get this shit off. It's like charred on.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
it's not even worth saving the tray. I'm like, you didn't borrow it. You just liberated it from
destroyed
me.
it.
You just took it from me and destroyed it. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, my mum's going to be furious at that 1 pound tray she bought me. Furious. How do I explain this to mother? I don't know.
I don't know. I hear stories of people living in like dorms.
Oh, dude, it was disgusting.
It's
it was
awful.
disgusting.
There was always one person who was like the most disgusting person you could
Yeah.
ever imagine. Like you would be made to believe by your mum that you're a fucking slob when you go to university.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like you need to wash your dishes, you need to do this. But then you'd meet that one guy, and you don't know how he like functioned his entire
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
He would just. We had this one guy in our dorm who would just take everything, take all the utilities, and you know any like spare plate, knives and forks, and he just like would leave it in his room and just wouldn't wash it. So we would often get times where we were just looking for, like, I would be looking for my plates and knives and forks, and I like had to ask him. And one time, I remember looking for, I think it was like a wine glass or something.
Yeah.
And he found it in his underwear drawer, and I was just like, you know what? Just keep
No,
the damn
I don't
wine
want it.
glass. I
I
don't
don't
want it anymore. God, how does that even end up in that underwear drawer?
disgusting.
Yeah, what the
Dude, I have so many horrible stories from that period, like, and some of the shit they used to do to each other. Like, it wasn't even hazing, right? It was just them being dicks. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
like I remember they didn't like this one guy in my dorm because he was kind of pompous. He was like from South England, and he had a very posh accent, and he was very, very like, oh, you're too poor to talk to me.
Yeah, immediately sounds like a wanker.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was like an asshole, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and he would like unironically call people peasants. Like, I call people like
Is that where you got it from?
That's where I got it from, because I
Peasants.
thought it was so funny that he called people peasants, and he used to think that like I was laughing at the people he was laughing at.
Right, right.
But I
Right.
used to find it so funny that we're in the year 2000 and he's using the word peasant as an insult. So he would call these rugby players to their face like peasants, and he's not like big, but they knew they shouldn't punch him.
Right.
Yeah.
So what they would do multiple times was like piss on all of his stuff in the middle of the night
Jesus
and like
Christ.
leave it outside.
Yeah.
So they pissed in all of his like kitchen stuff.
Yeah.
And so he went to go and cook the next day.
Right.
And he was like, "Where are my pans, Connor?" And I'm like, "Look outside." The
peasants have taken them
I
outside.
told them they shouldn't do it, but
Yeah.
you know, what can I do?
But I did not stop them. I was like,
I'm like,
oh no, guys, you
I
shouldn't be
was that
doing
guy in university who was like not hated and not like like in their group, but I
Yeah.
was just like, they liked me enough where they would like tell me the shit they were doing, but
Yeah.
would never
Yeah, they wouldn't
expect-
fuck with you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
fuck with me. they would always like meet in my bedroom for talk. It was weird. So they would piss on all of his stuff. They got completely ruined, and they bullied the shit out of this kid. It was awful.
Well,
I
I mean, I don't blame them. Like, fucking.
Yeah, but you're okay.
If a dude came up to me and was like, "Hello, peasant," I'd fucking give him a hand. I'd be like, "Let's see how these peasant hands feel, motherfucker."
Oh my god, dude, they were crazy, man. I can't believe the shit.
Yeah, I hear stories like that. I mean, like I hear it from like people like you guys and just friends at uni who used to live in the uni dorms, and I'm just like, why did you sign up for this shit? Like, it sounds horrible.
Because it sounds like when you're moving into university, it's like, oh, it's a party every day. That sounds amazing.
Right.
And then you realize that people are just dickheads most of the time.
Yeah.
I just had like a flashback to a horrible thing that happened.
Go on.
What? Go on.
So it was Halloween, right? And we had a little rivalry with the bungalow next door. We were in bungalows, by the way.
Right.
And if you have a rivalry with another bungalow that was full of dudes, what would you do to get back at them? Like, what would you do? Like, just send a message, right?
I don't know. Like,
whatever you're thinking, it's not as disgusting as what they
Just,
did.
just tell us what you did.
yeah. What did you do?
So it was Halloween, and I was outside having a can of lager, right? I was watching them do it, and I was like, I'm not going to be involved in this, but I'm going to watch this.
Yeah, of course.
One of them decided it would be a good idea to like take a shit through their mailbox. Right? So, so they did that, and then they retaliated by getting that shit, putting it in a Halloween pumpkin, and throwing the pumpkin at one of my friend's windows, and it just exploded. It was so disgusting. So then they thought, okay, well, this is all in the same night, by the way.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just watching all this unfold. I'm like, this is amazing entertainment.
I can just imagine you with your fucking beer in hand being like, this is better than any anime I've ever seen.
They were like, because they would like ask you, is it like, you reckon I should do this? I'm like, that's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Then they were like, watch this. And then one of the rugby guys was like, I'm going to like smash their door in as a joke. I'm like, that's an amazing joke.
Yeah.
That's so funny. And so they smashed his door down, front door to their like bungalow. They smashed it down as a joke.
Yeah.
Like just destroying their...
Just destroy property.
It wasn't even theirs. And then the university obviously found out the next day and was like, who did this? And I was like, I have no idea. And they got in so much shit.
Does it have to do with the poop on the window?
Yeah, they were like, why is there a pumpkin and shit involved?
They're like literally monkeys, just like throwing shit at one another, like
just flinging shit at each other, right?
Because basically these guys were like all in the rugby squad in like the biggest rivalry in Wales, and rugby is like the big. Imagine like, I don't know which state is like the biggest American football state,
right?
Yeah.
But imagine like the biggest meatheads in America, just in the same place. Like it's like
I mean, we kind of had that in Sydney as well with
like,
rugby.
Yeah, disgusting shit is gonna happen, and
Yeah.
I guess because I was just like they liked me enough, it wasn't hell for me.
Yeah.
I mean, they would still use my shit all the time. It was really annoying.
Were you in like the really cheap dorms?
Oh, I was in the ones that cost $70 a month.
Okay.
A month. I had like what would have been like a psychiatric prisoner room. Like it's like the bare, but they gave us a mattress, and I wish they didn't, because I immediately when I got there, I pick up my mattress and it's bright yellow, the bottom of it. And I'm like, oh god. And I remember getting homesick the first day. I'm like, Mom, I can't do this. This is disgusting. Like, because it was literally like a tiny room with a shit-stained bed that they'd obviously never changed.
No,
Like,
it was obviously like university dorms are basically just remodeled prison cells.
Like I think I'd rather go to
shitty
jail.
internet connections.
I think I would rather go to jail at that point.
No,
like-
because the bed that they gave us, I remember thinking, oh, it's probably going to be a single bed. I didn't know there was a size smaller than a single bed.
Wait, there is? I didn't know that.
I swear, because it was way smaller than a single bed. You'd like sleep like this. Like it was anything else, and like my feet, because I'm like a fairly tall guy. I'm not even that tall. I'm 6 foot. My feet would always be off the bed. That's how small my bed was.
just like 3 pillows stitched together. So there's your mattress. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm glad I never experienced that. I would just I would just bite the bullet and just take the 2-hour travel between my uni and my house, and I'd just be like, I'm in the comfort of my own home.
I learned some important life lessons in university though. Right. I learned like sometimes you just gotta say fuck everyone else and put yourself first. Like sometimes.
I mean, I learned that afterwards.
In uni, people will just fucking take advantage of you. If you
definitely.
Yeah.
Because there was only like one bus that made it to the campus on time. Like it was like
Right,
a half an
right.
hour bus.
Right.
It's only one bus, and this line would be fucking huge to get on this bus. So if you were late, it was just whatever.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where I was just like, I'm going to be so late for my lecture if I wait in this line. I would literally just like, when people were getting on the bus, I would just walk to the front of the line.
just
and just
push
get on.
in, yeah.
I would literally just like act as if I was on the bus. I would just walk up. Yeah, just go on the bus. And then everyone would look at me like, the fuck? You can do that? And I was like, fuck it, I don't care.
That's like sacrilegious in English.
British, yeah. That is like a cardinal. And I would never do that, but I thought because they're all a bunch of university students, I'm like, fuck you. It's survival of the fittest, bitches.
We used to do that in high school, where like do you guys have like middle school and high school like separated?
No, we
it's
don't.
all
No,
like
no.
7th graders to 12th graders all together, right?
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
together.
Okay, so same in Australia, and you know, every time like the school finishes, there'd always been like lines for like different bus routes that would like go everywhere.
Yeah, same.
And of course, all the fucking 7th graders and 8th graders are just like, I'm gonna get on. They just fucking start running up. And the 12th graders and the 11th graders would just be like, all right, out of the way, bitch. They fucking push these kids out of the way. And they couldn't do anything, but it was the most liberating thing to do. It was like, finally, when I got to the 11th grade, I was like, I understand. I have power now. It's fucking awesome.
Learn the hierarchy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, step down.
Do you have any horror university stories then that weren't dorms? Anything at all that was like fucked up
I
or
mean, other
anything
than
funny?
the friend that like I had, like other than like one of my friends being like a drug dealer, like not really, like
Wow.
yeah. I mean, I don't really have to go into detail
Alright,
on that,
it's
obviously,
university,
but
I mean-
you just see so much shit in university. Like, you know, your story about like, you know, throwing the poop at the bungalow,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I don't have anything that crazy.
no,
You don't? There was
no,
no
that
weird
was
shit
that was
that
really common for us. Like, you see,
That was really common, did you say?
yeah. Like,
Yeah.
What fucking universities did you go to?
just walking around campus, and I'm just like, I didn't know I could ever see shit in a location like this.
Yeah, you see vomit and shit where they're like,
Yeah.
you're fascinated.
Oh, no.
I understand the vomit, right? Because
Yeah.
like we had like a whole bunch of like pubs
Yeah.
and restaurants
Yeah.
like within the campus, right? So obviously you get a little bit crazy as you do as a uni student, and you know, throw up a little bit. But I'm
Yeah.
just like, why is there like poop on this sidewalk? And it's like
Actually, I'm now that you guys are mentioning it, I'm remembering so much poop that I've just like blocked out my memory.
I'm like, this is bigger than an animal. It's not an animal.
I-
It's clearly not an animal. Like, this is a human poop. I know a human poop when I see it.
They are an animal.
But it's not even like a kangaroo or like a big animal. Like
Yeah.
this clearly came out of a human.
I think it must have been pretty bad at my university because they had like a row of porta potties that would just pop up on Friday through Sunday,
Yeah.
where all the clubs were. So clearly people must have been shitting enough and pissing that they were like, we got to sort this out. People pooping everywhere.
But there's I just keep remembering there's so much poop where there shouldn't be. Like I remember one day
This is probably our like most amazing podcast to listen to.
there's one time when came home from a night out and I was in the common room and it just smelled like someone had died there. It smelled like an animal had died. Maybe it was a dog or something. Started looking around, like searching for where this smell is coming from. I'm like playing a game of Where's Wally. Just with this smell, right? I'm like searching everything. It was around Christmas time, and so I searched behind. I searched behind the Christmas tree because it was like coming from the Christmas tree. So
Yeah.
I look behind, and there's just this turd like sitting where there should be presents. And my first thought is, surely this can't be a turd, right? And like you said, it's not like a dog turd. It's like a full on.
It's clearly a human turd, right? Like
yeah. It's not like rabbit poop or something.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a big full on turd. And my first thought is, surely there's no way this is a turd.
This is in your house.
Huh?
In your house.
Yeah, in my dorms.
What
in
the
my dorms.
fuck?
So it wasn't a house. We lived in like a shared dormitory of like
Right.
200 people. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had like
Okay,
a common
200
area.
people.
So I get this fucking stick, right? I start poking it, just think maybe it's something else other than the turd. Maybe it's like a
Fake
toy,
turd, yeah,
like,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
like a fake
Chocolate
turd.
bar.
And the stick just sinks in. I'm like, Oh, this is a fucking turd. Oh, I am smelling shit right now. How did this get here? Because it was in the common room. Because it was pretty late. But people come in the common room pretty often. And I was just thinking, there must be a story behind this. How did this turd appear here?
Did you find out?
I never found out.
Oh my god, that's such a wasted
All I
opportunity.
remember was coming in the next day in the morning, and it was just magically gone. And I was like, I feel sorry for the person who had to clean that turd up. up, man.
See, I just hear shit like that. I'm just like,
Yeah, but don't you like you get some fucking stories that you're never gonna forget.
oh yeah, of course.
Like-
but like, I like hearing it from other people. I don't want to like go through the fucking trauma of like experiencing a lovely Christmas morning with a turd, right? Like, I don't need that in my life.
It doesn't affect him. He's like, I'm going back to my room. Fuck
Yeah, I'm
this.
just like, I'm out, man.
That's a
I'm
fun story. This is right. Okay, this is why people on the comments are like, why does Connor have so many stories? Because I just say yes to the dumbest shit, thinking like, okay, if this goes horribly wrong, at least I get a banger of a story out of this.
Right.
Probably. So I'm just like, yes, I'll do that thing that's probably very questionable.
Yeah.
Like, sure, let's go there. Let's do this thing. Because I'm like, I'm going to get a banger of a story out of this. I love that.
So
Yeah.
I just forget a lot of stuff sometimes. I go through my life.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
get
just
like flashbacks when sometimes we're talking. I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
I was like, speaking of poop, I remember, I remember that story.
no, because like going back to lifestyle in university, I remember I had the most unhealthy lifestyle you could possibly imagine.
Same.
Like I shouldn't. A human body shouldn't be able to do that many all-nighters.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
somehow I had a diet that just consisted of mostly Red Bull. And
How many Red Bulls did you drink a day? And coffee?
I would drink at least 3 cans of Red Bull a day.
Yeah.
And like 2 cups of coffee.
Yes, same.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But like on like some all-nighters when I had an assignment that was never ever done until the night before I had to put in my assignment, because who the fuck actually does assignments weeks before? I remember one night I had, I think it was like 10 cans of Red Bull or something
Your
like
heart
that.
rate must have been like
Yeah.
insane.
Oh no, it was insane. And
Don't do this, by the way.
do not do
Yeah.
this. This is a cautionary tale. And the deadline was at 8 a.m. and I finished it at 7 a.m. And I remember thinking, yes, I can finally submit it. So I submitted it and I lay down on my bed and I could not stop shaking. I was just like. And I remember that was the exact moment that I remember thinking, man, I need to sort my fucking life out.
It's like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Dude, because I ate like shit and I was drinking like 10 not terrible. It was like at least like 3 Monster Energies a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On top of coffee. And then also eating like Domino's pizza like 2 times a week.
Oh yeah, I
Like-
kind of had a similar story where like
Yeah.
a lot of the times, like, because I wasn't living in the dorms,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I would just sleep over
At
in
the
room that I
Right,
was like
right,
working
right.
on, right? So like I remember like I had like a programming assignment I had to do,
Yeah.
and it was, of course, it was a teamwork job, right? And
Yeah.
that never goes well at uni. There's always that one fucker who never appears to any of the fucking assignments, and I was just like, and it was just like me and like a friend, and we're just waiting for this third person. We're like, where the fuck is he? He's like the best at programming here. Like we can't do it just with the 2 of us. Of course, the dude never showed up. So it was just like,
Yeah.
great. Well, the thing's due in like, what, 3 hours? It's like 5 in the morning right now. Let's just order Domino's. So I just fucking called up the Domino's. We ordered like fucking like 7 pizzas or something. We're just like, hey everybody, if you're at the uni right now, just come to this room. Just order like 7 Domino's. Just come in here and we'll just eat Domino's. And the next morning, I remember the professor came in and it's just like 7 empty boxes of pizzas and there's like 8 of us just like all sprawled out on the ground just with pizza hangovers. And yeah, that was the best story I have.
Man.
Obviously not as interesting as a poop story, but
Where's the poop?
I mean, I'm not invested in
I
this.
mean, we all smelt.
When did someone shit themselves?
I
at
mean,
least?
I mean, we definitely all smelt like shit the next day, but that's about it. Yeah.
I'm sure I have like way more stories I can think of, but like I just like none of them are coming to me right away. Like,
Yeah.
but
I just forget a lot of them.
dude, I didn't realize that like I got like super chubby during university. I know Garn is like, Connor, you never look chubby, but dude,
No, you didn't.
Connor swears to me that he was chubby when I first met him, and I just have completely blanked out this memory of
Mudan
ever
put
being
this
chubby.
image on screen. This was like 2 years ago.
To be
whatever.
fair, though, I look back at old photos
Right,
that I
and
have
you're
of
like,
you,
yo.
and I'm like, man,
Yeah.
this boy's face is round.
Right, and like I never thought I was chubby. Right?
No, but I didn't think you were at the time, yeah.
I think because it was just the way I'm built. Like I don't look that chubby.
Right, right.
But I remember like a year ago, like I saw like an image, like someone taking a photo of me, and it was like from the side, right?
Yeah.
I just saw like my stomach, like hanging over a little bit, and I'm like, what the fuck? When did that happen?
Yeah.
And you're like, what? And then you start realizing, oh shit, I'm chubby. Like I'm actually chubby.
It's so weird because I had such shit diet and just like lifestyle choices
you
in
didn't get chubby.
uni. But I was so fucking like you guys met, like when you first met me, I was fucking emaciated.
Yeah,
right?
you were
Like,
so skinny.
Everybody always says that I was so fucking.
You were
skinny.
so skinny.
To put it in comparison, right? Like all throughout high school, I haven't really like grown in height since high school.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
hovering around like 180 centimeters, right?
Yeah.
Like little under 6 foot. In high school, I think I never broke 60 kilograms.
Jesus Christ.
So what are you now then?
I am 75 now.
Oh shit! So
yeah,
you're like
I gained a lot.
Yeah.
chunked up.
Yeah, it's because I chunked up.
It's healthy though.
It's
Yeah,
because
yeah, it's
I
healthy.
went to America. And I was just going ham and I didn't realize that, metabolism is a thing.
Yeah.
I realized that during university, obviously, I'd been taking advantage of my body way too much.
Yeah.
And then pretty much last year, I just went ham on myself and like just cut out everything, cut out
Yeah.
energy drinks, went gym like 5 days a week and lost like 10 kilograms.
Yeah, because I remember back then I didn't know if I had a bigger tolerance in alcohol or caffeine, but it was like I was drinking equally much of both, and equally destroying my body with as much shit that I was eating.
Yeah,
as
so
well.
I was probably eating in food alone like
Yeah.
3,000 calories, probably consuming like 2,000 calories at least in alcohol, and that's not even like the Monster energy drinks that were probably like 1,000 calories plus all that. So I was going like ham on my body because when you're like 19, you're like,
Yeah.
bro, I don't gain weight. I've never been fat.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna gain weight.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. And like, I had like an insane diet when I was in high school and
Yeah,
like uni
yeah.
as
Yeah.
well. And it's not just like the shit I was eating, but just how much of it I was eating.
Yeah,
like
same,
lunch,
same.
like lunch, like high school lunches for like a lot of people is like, maybe like a sandwich or, like a hot dog maybe or something like that. Dude, I used to have 10 slices of bread
Yeah, dude, I could do that. I used to
and
do
just
that.
like devour that before the noon hit. I was just like, I just got to school. I'm feeling a little bit hungry. I'll just eat like 3 sandwiches, and I was still skinny as shit. And people are like, how? Like,
Jealous.
How violent are your shits? Because that's the only way you're getting rid of it.
I think it's
Yeah.
that Asian blood, man. Because I've consistently I've been about the same weights my entire adult life.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
So jealous.
Well, I don't know. I think my body just when I eat, when I like start gaining weight, my body just shuts off and it's just like I don't want any food. I'm just never hungry. So I don't know. It's never been a big
That's a
deal for
fucking
me.
superpower. bro.
I mean, I'm okay with it now because I went from dangerously skinny to just normal weight.
Yeah.
But obviously, people who have like stuck around on my channel and have seen me in that like emaciated state are just like, Joey's gotten really fat. I'm like, no, I just went back to normal. That's all that happened. I'm not fat.
We all know YouTube comments like to nitpick. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
With like university life, do you guys feel the same? Where my parents always told me, when you go to university, that's where you grow up. That's that's
Is that what they said?
yeah. Because that's where you're like treated as an adult, right?
Right.
With responsibility and stuff. But anyone who's still in university, it's such a warped experience of what adult life is like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Because I guess university is kind of like the ramp to being an adult, the way I saw it. Like, there was people there who left university who I'm like, you should not be living alone. Like, you cannot take care of yourself. And then there's other people who I'm like, they'd be fine.
Yeah.
Like I guess.
I feel like if you can't take care of yourself at uni, you're really gonna have a hard time taking care of yourself after uni as well.
oh, we've definitely met those people.
Oh, I know. Like half people I lived with were like incapable. Like one of them was like a serial gambler and like lost all his money. And like
One of my friends was the same.
Yeah.
He one time he won 10K. 10K for a uni student
That's
in a
insane.
casino.
That's insane, yeah.
Which is insane.
basically a millionaire at
And
that point.
yeah. You're basically a fucking millionaire. And everyone's like, no fucking way you won that much. He lost it within 2 weeks. 2 weeks because he was so addicted to gambling.
yeah.
It's fucking insane.
Oh god.
And I asked him, so how could you spend that much? You could have paid off your student loans and everything.
Yeah.
And I remember him just saying, oh, it's because it just didn't mean anything to me. Because
There was like a guy in the house next to me, the one that got pooped in, as you gentlemen know.
yeah. As we all know.
And he was like basically like a neo-Nazi, and he was really fucking weird. And he would always come over and bring like 2 40-year-old women, and he was like having threesomes with them both, and he would exclusively refer to them as like sugar tits. Like,
Did he like time travel from the 50s?
no, like,
what?
and he was like, and I remember one time because my friends
Give me sugar tits.
So yeah, he was literally like that. And my friend was telling me, he was like, yeah, it's really weird. He was like mixing chemicals in his room, and I was like, bro, tell the fucking university people. Like, what do you mean he's mixing chemicals in this room?
You're really doing a good job, like selling on whales as
Yeah.
being like this.
Where'd you go again?
I don't want to name the university in case they get really mad at me. But
Bristol University represent?
Sydney Uni.
you can find out what university.
It's not that hard. It's somewhere out there.
And,
Yeah.
like, he was always that guy who was like, you know, when like someone would talk about a fight, they were like, well, if I had my Glock there, it would be over. You know what I mean? Like, and you're like, what? Like, what do you mean?
Like, come again?
Yeah. It's just that those guys who are like, yeah, I know how to use a gun. Like, it's like, yeah, a gun would fix that.
Yeah.
Like, always. And it's
Of
like,
course.
he like talks about guns too much. He brought up like Mein Kampf, like an uncomfortable, like an uncomfortable amount of time.
Right.
Like I remember
My favorite piece of literature.
he was like, I remember one time, it's like, his excuse for not doing an assignment was because he was too in depth into reading about Nazi history and how
Right.
interesting it was, and like that's always like a double-edged sword when they're telling
It's like
you
a
that.
red flag.
Yeah, it's like, are you interested in it or like interested in it?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
are you like?
This sounds like an episode of Peep Show or
It
something.
is. Yeah, it is. It was. I luckily never had to deal with it. But my friend did. And, apparently, one time my friend who was telling me all this had borrowed something from the neo-Nazi character.
Yeah.
And it was in his room, and his room was locked. And so this guy didn't want to wait 30 minutes to do it, so he just took all the bolts off his door with like a screwdriver set and
Right.
just removed the door and went in
Right.
and never gave him his like door back, like the stuff. So, for like 2 weeks before the university came in and fixed it, the dude had no door. And he had like a gaming PC and everything. Like the dude just had no door. And the front door to this bungalow was always left open.
There's taking, you know, like utensils.
Yeah.
And then there's taking a door.
He like took the like the door, like all the like the what the fuck, the door
hinges,
handle,
yeah.
all the hinges. He just took it
Yeah.
off. And just removed the door to like the side, like it's like a
Yeah.
caveman with a stone entrance, like oonga boonga. I need my keys or something, whatever it was. And he just did like this dude was insane. He was the kind of guy who like when you were around him for 5 minutes, you were like, I don't want to be around you anymore. Like, you've said too many uncomfortable things in 5 minutes. And when he brought his 2 40-year-old women girlfriends around, I'm like, they're disgusting. Get them out of my house.
His sugar tits.
Yeah, it's so gross. I was like 20, like cleaning my dishes. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
So, like, how did you transition from university life to like your working YouTube schedule, adult life, the real adult life, or whatever we want to call it?
So I think for me, I'd finished university. I broke it to my parents that I didn't want to do a master's.
Yeah.
They were like, fair enough. You clearly didn't want to do a bachelor's, which I did. I passed it with a good grade, so it's fine.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I go to London a lot. Why not fucking move to London
Yeah.
on a whim? I moved to Japan on the whim, moved to London on a whim, went there and just, that was kind of it, really. And
Because when you met Sydney for the first time, had you already decided that you were going to London? Or
yeah,
was
I
it-
knew pretty much like I wanted, like about halfway through my last year of university, I was like, I don't like Wales anymore.
Yeah.
I really, really like London.
Right.
So I'm going to move to London. And
Oh,
even
okay.
though the prices were like insane,
Yeah.
managed to find a roommate to help me split the costs. And yeah, and then just kind of went into it. And it was really weird because it was like, I don't know, just doing the same shit in just a different city, I guess.
Yeah, but like no one like teaches you about that shit
No,
either,
no,
right? Like,
no,
you just got to
no,
do
no.
it and just hope for the best.
And you're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I have to pay taxes. How do I
Yeah.
figure that out? And it's like, oh shit, okay, I need to figure this out. And
I
Yeah.
have to check the mailbox.
yeah.
Ew.
Just so many things that you have to like figure out and hope that you're doing right. And,
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't know. Like, what was it for you? Like, because obviously you did like a way bigger like leap.
Yeah, because I mean, I had like a gap year where
Gap year.
Gap year.
Gap year.
Well, in between actually starting between graduating from uni and actually starting my job at the BBC.
Yeah.
And that was when I kind of went when I went all out on YouTube before I just completely stopped.
Yeah.
So the period before I completely stopped, I like spent a lot of time on YouTube because I had basically nothing else to do.
Were you still not making any money during that time as well?
Yeah, I wasn't making
Oh,
any
wow.
money.
Oh shit.
It was just because I had nothing else
passion,
to do,
yeah.
and I was really enjoying it. And yeah, because that was about the time like Potaku started, and a lot of new things were happening.
Right.
in
So
the
you're pretty
anime
heavily
scene.
invested in that.
Yeah, I was pretty heavily invested in that, and I remember this was like such a weird year for me because I would spend my time like all over the world. just in different places. Like I lived in China for a bit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, like why?
Huh? For reasons I don't really want to get into.
Oh, okay,
but
okay,
I was there for a bit, and then I was in Thailand for a bit, and most of the time I was just working on YouTube videos. And by the end, I wanted something stable. I wanted a job. I thought I wanted a job at the BBC, right?
I thought wrong.
And it was good for the first year. About the first year, it was a good experience. It was like, yes, this is a nice break from university, and just like doing YouTube for a while, because what I didn't realize is how hard university life is compared to having a real job.
Yeah.
You guys don't know, but the stress and shit you go through in uni is like 10 times as much as anything you'll go through in a normal job.
Yeah.
You got like drama on top of having to do like 10 assignments all at one time and you got exams.
Yeah. Because it's like if I fail one assignment, I am stuck here for the rest of my life.
Yeah, like I've been stressed, but never as stressed as I was at university.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they always, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but in my university, they always put like all the deadlines at the same fucking
time.
Yeah.
So it was always like 2 months of like, I'm having a great time playing League of Legends, 12 hours a day, got nothing to do. And then boom, November hits. You have 8 fucking assignments, 2 exams coming up, and then 4 exams on top of that, 2 exams that you have, and you're like, holy shit!
Just constantly shitting in your pants.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die. I'm never gonna get out of this.
It's insane. Yeah.
But like, I still had my really unhealthy lifestyle that I had in university.
Hell yeah.
In my job at the BBC. Okay, so let me explain to you my sleep schedule for the BBC.
Oh, I want to get it. I was this one I really wanted to
Go
talk
on.
about.
Okay.
Go.
Okay, because my sleep schedule was disgusting.
Hell yeah.
Because at the time a lot of my friends were online, and a lot of them unfortunately were in North America.
Right.
Which the best time to talk to them was either like probably like really late for us. So you just get used to staying up super late. So that was fine when I was in university because it was easy to do all-nighters anyway. But when I was working at the BBC, I had a 9-to-5 job. So I'd need to get up. I lived 5 minutes away from my workplace. That was a good thing, because if I didn't, my sleep schedule would be even worse than it already was. So I would stay up till about 4 a.m. Every day, right?
Seems pretty normal.
Yeah, but I would wake up at 8. So I would have like 4. I would have 4 hours of sleep. Do my 9 to 5.
With that monk preparation.
Do my 9 to 5 with 4 hours of sleep. Be fucking dead for the entire day. And then go back home at around 5, 6 o'clock.
Do the same shit.
Have a 2-hour nap. And then that was my sleep schedule. I never had one long sleep. It was always like intermittent. Like I would have a maximum of like 3 to 4 hours at a time every night, just like spaced out by like 8 hours.
Yeah.
And that was my sleep schedule for a full year.
Jesus.
I think being friends with Americans, especially in the UK, because of how the time zones work, you're like 5 hours ahead. You end up like, you're talking to them, you're having a good time, and you're like, yeah, I can talk for an hour extra. And then it constantly, like, the hour extra adds.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Before you know it, the sun's rising. And you're like, fuck.
Yeah. I
Did
mean,
you have a bad sleep schedule?
oh yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I was the similar thing because like, as you said, like a lot of my like YouTuber friends were in North America or not in Australia essentially. So I always had to adjust to their time zones, and that was usually like 3 or 4 a.m.
Right.
But at least I didn't have to get up at like 8 a.m. I would get up at like maybe 2 p.m.
Yeah, that was like,
if I got up before noon, that was weird for me. I'm just like, this isn't right. I can feel the morning sun. I felt the morning sun before I went to bed.
I don't know if you guys did this, but I would like just slowly deteriorate my sleep schedule till it got to the point where I was going to bed at like 6, 7 a.m.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
I would, wake up at like 4 p.m. Whatever, right? Like I would do the thing where I would completely fuck it, and then I'm like, I'm going to fix it today. And then I fix it. And then I immediately start just chipping away at it. Like,
It like offsets by an hour, then an hour turns to 2
yeah,
hours,
yeah.
and then 2 hours turns to 3
'cause
hours.
you'll have that one night, I'm sure you've had it where you're just like, for some reason you stayed up until like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're like, fuck, there's no coming back.
And for
from this.
for some reason, when you stay up to 8 a.m., it's easier to keep on that sleep schedule and to keep on a healthy sleep schedule, right?
Yeah, it's I physically, like I remember last year, it was so hard for me to try and fix this. Like I would try and stay up, I would fail. and then I would try and wake up early, and I would fail. So I was just in this loop for like, I remember like 2 months of just trying to fucking fix this thing, and I could not do it. And then when I did, I had to fly to America and then come back, and it's immediately fucked. Like, so it was like I couldn't win. And I know this sounds so stupid. It's like, just wake up early, Connor.
Yeah.
Like, lol, XD. Just wake up early. Just do it. But it's like, for some reason, when you're a YouTuber and you have no responsibilities, it's like impossible to fix this
Just
shit.
put an alarm on your phone.
Yeah.
It takes so much willpower to
Yeah.
fix your sleep schedule.
Oh yeah.
It's really difficult when you don't have any responsibilities or a schedule to stick by, or people relying on you apart from your viewers.
Like this year is probably the first year that I think almost every day I've gotten up at like a normal human time.
Yeah, because I remember when I first moved here, you were still waking up pretty late.
Oh yeah, when I was first living here, like at my previous place before Aki moved in with me, I was getting up at maybe like 12, 1 p.m.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's reasonable time. Yeah, I went to bed like 5 a.m. last night, so I got my sleep. Yeah.
I think being on this time zone, like Americans are always asleep when I want to like do shit. So I just go to bed and then they're all awake. Right.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
I don't feel any pressure to stay up here. There's like no reason unless I'm out, you know?
Yeah, because I remember you talking before about how you would record videos at 2 a.m.
Yeah, I'd record because I woke up at like 6. I don't want to do anything when I wake up. 6 p.m. by the way. I'd wake up at like 6 p.m. in Wales right before I moved to Japan because I was kind of like, I don't know, I was pretty depressed. I was like, I hated it because I was just like, I just wanted to move to Japan. And I was just stuck in this shitty bedroom that I didn't like.
Yeah,
it was my brother's bedroom, wasn't even mine. I hated it.
It wasn't the attic room.
No. I wish it was. I had more space. I hated this room. I hated being in Wales. I'm sorry, parents. I love you, but I hate Wales. They know I hate living in Wales. I hated it so much. I had no friends really.
Yeah.
And so I would just stay up until like 9, 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And then I would go to bed.
Yeah.
Wake up at 6 p.m. And then I couldn't do anything as well because everything was closed.
Right.
So I just... I was just a perpetual cycle.
Everything opens and then closes while you're asleep.
Literally everything would open and close while I sleep. And then when I wanted to eat anything, like I couldn't. I had to like preemptively go to the shop to buy things that I think I would want later to eat for dinner.
I think like I had a similar problem like that in Japan, but I think it's because I was relying too much on the convenience of the 24-hour convenience store.
Yeah, the convenience.
Yeah, because like I would get up at, I'd stay up till maybe like 3 a.m. and I'd be like, oh, I'm a bit hungry. Everywhere else in the world, you're pretty much fucked. Like you have to look in your fridge.
Oh, America.
Right? Oh, I mean, you could do like delivery and stuff like that, but it's in my case, like I would get out of the house, literally walk 20 meters to the 7-Eleven that was like across the road from my house.
Yeah.
And just grab something and come back. I'm like, well, yeah, of course I'm going to stay up because there's no time limit with food, especially, or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, recording at 2 a.m. though, like that's insane.
How'd 2 a.m., 4 a.m. How'd your neighbors find it?
Fuck them, dude. Dude, I would be like in bed at like what was it? Okay, this is when my sleeping schedule wasn't too bad. Like 4 a.m. And I would hear fucking Peppa Pig fucking blasting through my wall. It's like muffled. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. It's 4 a.m. So I didn't give a fuck. I was like, fuck. They were assholes to me. So I was like, you know what?
You should have just blasted Peppa Pig back at them.
DMX through the wall, like Peppa Pig version. Like
No, I have like a similar experience to the first house I lived in London. Because if you live in London, you're going to live in a shared house. That's just the way it is in London. Yeah. So we had paper thin walls, right? Oh, and I lived next to this couple who just like would not stop having sex. and it was just not
good on them.
No, good on them. But it wasn't like the discreet sex. They were loud. And it wasn't even like sexy loud. Like the girl just sounded like a dying dog. That's kind of like the noise I had to live with. But I think they did that because they got annoyed at me recording podcasts and videos. So they're like, I'll show him. They would choose to have sex right like whenever I start recording. It was coincidentally every time I start recording a video, I just hear these fucking moans on the wall. And I would have to wait like a good sometimes it was an hour. I don't know what couple constantly has sex for an hour every time. I swear they were taking the piss.
Are they filming a porno?
How slowly was the guy going? Fucking hell.
But yeah, I think they were just having like shouting contests because they were just annoyed at me recording videos and podcasts. Some episodes of Potaku, you can kind of hear like we had to blank out my audio because there's just like moans in the background.
Release the uncensored footage.
They were like, the moment they're like, they just look at, they're just like putting their ear to the wall, and the moment they hear warning, they're just like, all right, let's go right now. Come on, put your pants out,
Like,
put your pants out, let's go.
Honey, start moaning. Honey, honey.
It was like,
And it wasn't even the videos that I was loudest for. It's like sometimes I would record like voiceover that was like full on like battle cries.
Yeah,
And it would literally be like, and I can shout loud.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
It would be like full on battle cries in my
Yeah.
fucking house at like 1 a.m. Because I was the only time I was awake and like ready.
anywhere else in the world, they think like a murder is happening.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, they didn't give a fuck in London. They were like, oh, well, it's, you know, we live in South
guess-
London. It's South London. What can
I
you do?
guess he's
Yeah,
there.
I would, God, dude, that, yeah, I did not like my neighbors. They were assholes. And the one time they stole my package as well, so fuck them. Fuck you for stealing my package.
Yeah, I see. The only experience I've ever had of like living or having neighbors to worry about is here in Japan, but it's never been anything like that. I mean, I had that like really recently, that one really passive aggressive woman living below
you,
me.
right? They gave you like a note.
Yeah, she gave me like a good. It's not the one time either. That's like the third or fourth letter she sent me.
Can you explain the whole story? I'm interested.
So
I don't know the timeline.
So basically, I don't even remember when the first one was, but basically, I came home once, and like in Japan, I don't know if it's in other countries as well, but at least in Japan's in apartments, they have like a mailbox downstairs on the first floor, and they also have like a little like mail entry thing
I think that's
on
normal,
the door.
I think.
I don't know, but basically, I came home and I was about to open the door, and I just saw like a piece of paper sticking out. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it must be a flyer or something.
You missed a package or something.
Yeah, I missed a package or something. I pulled it out and I opened it, and it's this it was really creepy because it was like to nobody. It was clearly typed out, and it was just in English. And I read it, I'm like, this sounds Google translated. And I read it, and it's the woman downstairs. It's a guy or a woman downstairs. I don't even know who it is because when you first move to an apartment in Japan, it's customary to like go to every room that's adjacent.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I'll tell
the
my
two
story
rooms,
about that after.
so the two rooms to the left and right of you, and the person above and below you, if there are any, and go and like basically say like, hey, I just moved in here. You know, if you ever need anything, I'm in this room, kind of thing. The two people to the sides of me, fucking great. I love both my neighbors. The woman at the top, super nice. Barely talk to her, but the woman at the bottom, she didn't even come to the door.
Yeah.
Like I rung the doorbell. I clearly heard her running up to the door
To look.
to look in the peephole.
You should put your thumb on the peephole.
Yeah, and I guarantee the moment that she like looked at the peephole and like saw a gaijin, she's like, "Oh hell no! Like, I'm not going out there, dude. Are you kidding me?" So immediately I was like, "Oh okay, I have that kind of neighbor. All right, well whatever."
Yeah.
And then so I immediately knew. It didn't say in this letter. It didn't say
Who it was.
but. Man, like, she must have not thought this through because in the letter she said, I always hear you guys stomping around. So I'm like, well, then clearly you live below me. Like, you're not even hiding it now.
Yeah.
And she's like, your stomping is so loud in the night that I am getting insomnia. And I'm just like, okay. I mean, sorry. Like, you must hate me then in my previous place because I was up till like fucking 4 a.m.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'm living a normal fucking life in this place. And she kept sending me it, and I'm just like, oh my god, what am I gonna do with this woman? So the moment she sent this like recent letter, like a couple of weeks ago, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking show this woman because I'm getting fucking annoyed because she threatened to like
So I burned down her apartment.
Yeah, so I unscrewed the hinges in her door
I broke down her door.
and threw poop at it. I shat in her mailbox.
honestly, would have got him. I should've-
No, so I was like, I'm gonna show this woman. So, because like clearly by typing out, not even like handwriting, by typing out a clearly Google translated letter to me, she obviously thinks like, oh, these fucking dumbass foreigners don't know anything. And there's this like mentality of like xenophobic like Japanese people, usually very senile, who think that they can get their way because they're a senile Japanese person and we're just a dumb foreigner who doesn't know the rules. So I'm just like, all right, I'll show them. So I wrote a handwritten letter in Japanese in the most like Keigo as fuck, like the
like
most
businessman.
yeah, the
Japanese.
most polite Japanese that you could ever see, right? Like I might as well have like written a fucking like invitation letter, like a resume
to the
right?
to the king,
to the king, right? And so I wrote it down, and I basically said like, I'm sorry, but we got to do it because I work at, you know, sometimes late at night, and like we're not trying to be noisy or whatever. And it's like, and I basically said at the bottom, I was like, rather than you like taking it to like the housing company and try and threaten me, maybe we should talk like you know, face to face, which is basically the most passive aggressive way of saying "come at me, bitch." It's like fucking meet me outside, come at me.
I've been to your house. You don't stomp.
No,
you
we
walk,
don't.
You walk like pretty
At all.
like any normal.
And it was like really rude as well. Like she wrote down being like, your footsteps sound like you are dropping an iron ball onto the ground.
I saw the Google Translate.
And I'm just like, fuck you. Like what the fuck? Like it's not like we're fucking Neanderthals and just like stomping around in our apartments, right?
me.
So fucking monkeying around, just being
TikTok dance.
yeah. Yeah, so I sent that. So I went down, I put it in her letterbox.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. She hasn't complained since.
Yeah,
she
yeah,
never
yeah,
took
right.
it to the housing company because I guaranteed the moment she read that letter, she was like,
Fuck.
oh shit, he ain't a gaijin.
Yeah,
He's a Nihonjin.
You just slam dunked a senile with
I
some
would-
Japanese.
I was just like, I fucking got that kid, man. I had to do it to him.
Dude, when I introduced myself to the neighbors as well, the one to the so I'm on the end, so which is great because
Yeah.
where I
Yeah.
film is also on the end that is just nothing.
Like
It's-
window,
yeah. So it's great. So I'm you know I can be loud during the day or whatever. But so the neighbors to the right of me weren't in, and so we went to go to the neighbors below. And Maylene, do you remember that? You remember this story, right? When we went to say hi to the neighbors below.
Oh yeah, because you went with him, didn't you?
No, you weren't there. No, you weren't there. Okay. So I went to say hi to them below. And so I was with someone from Geeks Plus and the housing agent person.
Right.
And they pressed the ring,
doorbell. Yeah.
Oh my God.
The ringer.
The ringer.
The thing that goes brrr. They pressed it and you know, they start speaking in Japanese and they start having a conversation. And slowly I see like the two Japanese women with me looking slowly more and more like displeased at what's being said.
Right.
And like, if I remember correctly, what was roughly translated was like, oh, my husband doesn't let me talk to foreigners without him there or something. And I was like, and the housing company woman was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't worry about it. This is they're just old or whatever. I was like, oh, great. What a warm welcome to Japan.
Right.
Like my husband won't let me talk to foreigners. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like Mike Wazowski at the door. Like, what are they saying? What's being said?
So what are they gonna do? Shit in my mailbox?
They're like, I hear they shit through mailbox with pumpkins.
These dirty
It's
foreigners.
gonna break my door down.
I'd laugh if they were just actually talking the maddest shit.
Yeah.
And then the translator's just like, yeah, she just doesn't.
Yeah, it's
she
like,
don't
it's
talk
like
to
when you see
foreigners.
those interpreters that like don't tell the joke. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I wish I, knew I could understand Japanese at the level I can now. Maybe I would have been able to pick it
She's
up.
like, I wish death upon him.
Yeah.
And the translator's like, she's feeling unwell.
It was probably something like that.
Yeah, it's probably something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, I bump into my other neighbors all the time, and they're pretty chill. They always say hi to me.
Yeah,
so-
my neighbors next to me are like this like really old couple who used to live in LA.
Yeah.
So their English is actually like pretty
sweet.
good
Yeah,
that's-
as well.
that's cool.
And that's good because like Aki isn't like the most proficient in Japanese, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they obviously know that, and so every time they like meet on, so it was really weird because
Yeah.
like I was walking to my local supermarket and my neighbor like walked past, and it was really weird because I was expecting like a very like traditional Japanese like konnichiwa kind of thing. Instead,
what up?
Yeah, legit.
What up, mate?
No, instead she was like, how you going? It's like, in like a really like weirdly like Australian British accent as well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought you said you lived in LA. That doesn't sound very Los Angeles like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, hi. I guess because I was fully expecting to do like the whole bow
Yeah,
thing, right?
yeah.
But she was just like, sub.
Some old people are real fucking nice here, and they love speaking to you.
Yeah.
And then other times, like they want you dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's just old people everywhere with foreigners, right there. So that's not like a
But I think Japan takes it to like a whole other level.
It's
right?
just it seems like one extreme or the other.
yeah.
It's hard for me to say. I mean, I'm white and grew up in a white place, so I don't know.
I mean, in
but
England, nobody talks to each other or like
No,
acknowledges each
generally
other.
talking is frowned upon.
Yeah.
In any capacity.
I remember actually the first time I went to America. I was in New York, and this was the very first my very first experience in America because I'd like pretty much only been in England and basically Europe and Thailand. So I remember I was standing in the lift to my hotel, and this American there was one other person in the lift, and she asked me, "So how are you doing today? You having a good day?" And me as a British person, I fucking freeze up. Like I don't know how to act. Like I'm like, Are you picking a fight with me? What the fuck's going on here? What do you want from me? Are you trying to sell something? Because in England, you don't talk to each other. You just everyone stands there in awkward silence and doesn't acknowledge each other, and we go about our day.
I had the same thing in like Canada on a bus. I was like 17 maybe. I was on a bus and the guy like said like great weather. I'm not doing that. Great weather today, and I just ignored him because I didn't think he was talking to me. And then he was like, "Not much of a talker, eh?" And then I like did like how like L stares at light in the thing. I was like. Like, you're talking to me?
No, I just did exactly the same thing. Because she talks over to me, and the first thing I did was check if there was someone behind me. I was like...
In the UK, it's just not a thing. You don't talk to people in public. I remember thinking like, yeah, I guess. Like, what do you want? Like, do you want money? Do you want money?
You're just like a deer in headlights. You just don't know what to do.
I know better now.
I had the craziest fucking like elevator. I don't even know if I'm allowed to fucking talk about this one.
We can cut it.
We can cut it if it's too extreme.
I mean, it's not the extreme situation. It's what the guy said.
So he's got a shit in a pumpkin.
No, so it was my first time in LA ever, and it was Anime Expo, obviously, because why else would you go to LA?
Yeah.
And I was in the hotel. Aki was there. as well.
I have elevator stories from LA now.
It's always LA, man. It's always LA.
Okay.
But my Japanese side is always like, if you're just in the elevator by yourself, then you can just be like rowdy and have fun and talk to your friends and everybody, right? But the moment someone you don't know comes in, you got to like behave, right? You got to like quiet down because you don't want to like inconvenience them, right? I've told you guys this story. So it was me, Aki, and like a few other people we knew, and we were going down the elevator, obviously just chatting it up, whatever. Elevator like stops halfway, door opens, and this like black guy walks in. Don't know him, right? So immediately I was like, oh shit, someone's, coming into the elevator.
Let's stop clowning around.
Yeah, let's stop clowning around. Like we don't want to inconvenience him. He walks in really quietly, door closes, starts going down, and then he just goes, oh yeah, everybody shuts up when the N-word walks in. Oh my God. And I was just like, I didn't know whether to say sorry or like, because if I said sorry, then like we would mean that. But I couldn't say anything. Like I couldn't even be like, So I was just like, eyes darting, just being like, what am I supposed to say? It's like, what are you supposed to say to that in that situation? And I was like, man, America's fucking terrifying. Like, I'm taking the escalator from now on.
I've never felt more complimented in my life than when I went into an elevator in LA, and there was like, I think there was a bunch of women. There must have been like 5 or 6 of them, and they were like all like mid-40s. I don't know what they were doing, and they were just saying something, and they asked me a question, and I just responded. And then when they heard my voice, they were like, "Oh, damn! Where are you from?" I was like, "It's like, oh, I'm from the UK," and they're like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "I do it in my voice sound like, yeah, you are." I was like, "Oh no, I am in danger." I was so flattered that like gave me like the confidence boost I needed that day. I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm ready for this panel."
Yeah, but when you were like in America with a British accent,
especially
with any accent that's not American.
Yeah, and I think because I have like a deep voice as well.
Yeah, because I get that all the time too. Like every time I go to a Starbucks or whatever, and I order something, like I remember I went to a Starbucks once in like Vegas, and I said I don't remember what I fucking ordered. I was like, "Can I get a mocha frappuccino or whatever?" And the girl's like, "Say that again." And I'm like, I thought she didn't hear me, right? So I was like, "Can I get a mocha frappuccino?" And she's like, "Your accent's so nice. I'm gonna have to hear that one more time."
I think I would die inside.
I'm just like, there's people like fucking staring at me. I'm just like, I just want a fucking mocha frappuccino. Just give it to me, please. Now every time I go to a Starbucks, I'm so afraid of that. So I just
you don't order the mocha frappuccino.
Yeah, I was like, I just do my best to do like an American accent, and they never fucking question
Americano, please.
Yeah, I'm just like, can I get a latte? And they're just like, yeah, okay. Which one do you want?
Do you ever play up your accent more in the US? I fucking turn that shit on like 100.
Yeah, sometimes I do. If I want to get out of a situation,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
I just start fucking talking like bogan Australian sometimes, just so
Yeah.
like where it gets to the point where they clearly don't understand what the fuck I'm saying, and I'm just like, fine, out of here, I am out of here.
I'm out.
Do you
Yeah.
ever do that, Gon? Do you ever turn up your British accent?
I mean, not really.
I go like full fucking Downton Abbey in America sometimes.
Really?
Because they fucking eat it up, dude. That, like if I really want them to be nice to me,
Yeah.
like and like the waiter, you know,
Yeah.
if it, you know,
Yeah.
I want good service, you know,
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, thank you so much. That's amazing. Wow. Wow. Thank you. This food is delicious. You did a great job. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
And they're just like, oh.
I must sound like such like a fucking asshole now. It's fun. It's fun, man. People are so nice.
Dude,
to you.
use it to your advantage, man.
I guess so, yeah. And then I remember Americans would ask me, they're like, do you guys see American accents the way that we see British accents? And I'm like, no, not at all. Not at all.
Oh, I see, like attractive.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Like they were like, because they were. I remember one time, the way I explained it to them, I was like, if there's an American on public transport, everyone knows.
Yeah.
Everyone knows.
They're
And they
usually
know
the
you're
loudest.
American. Yeah, they know. They know. They hate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Because we're so like everything we consume obviously is like American media. We just
Yeah.
consume
Yeah.
so much American stuff, so we're so desensitized to American media, and obviously to Americans it's like it's a flavor of British. Hogwarts is interesting.
Very
I
international.
think it's also because we've been to America so often now
Yeah.
for like conventions. Because I remember back in high school,
But
or
I think even just
university-
general British people aren't like impressed by Americans' accents.
I mean, I remember back in university, whenever someone had an American accent, they would definitely stand out. Maybe less so now because
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
more. I think there's more Americans coming over to England to study here.
Yeah,
and
we had that
everything.
like one American exchange student in our high school, and
Yeah.
everybody fucking loved it. They were like,
Yeah.
keep talking, keep
Yeah,
talking.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
many things have changed. I don't know, man. At least in my university, no one gave a shit.
I mean, we're all used to it, but I think Gart and I are definitely used to it because we live with an American.
Yeah,
Right.
Right.
I'm definitely used to it now.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
Before then, it was definitely. I do think it was more exotic before I.
Because I remember like American accents sounding so harsh.
Yeah.
Like you could clearly hear like the hard R. Like, I mean,
yo, what is Aki saying? Aki cancelled?
the hard R in every word that has an R in it. Not just a single word. Every word that has an R in it. Right, because we don't pronounce the R's in all of our
no.
words, right? So like when we hear the R in like the R sound, right? Like I'm just like,
ew,
God, why? Stop, please.
I don't know. Hearing Americans say British swear words is like the most disgusting
Yeah, we've
thing I've
said
ever
this,
heard.
yeah.
We talked about cunt like in a previous podcast, but like hearing sometimes Sydney would say wanker.
Oh my God, I hate that.
No. There are some British words that should never be
hate
said by
that.
American.
Yeah, yeah.
Wanker,
Wank-
bellend.
wank-
I don't ever want to hear an American say bellend.
Bellend. Oh, I mean, we don't even say that in Australia.
No, I mean, we have a bunch of British ones. You guys have Australian ones.
Yeah,
right?
but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh my God, the first time I heard an American say wanker, I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh.
speaking of
No,
wanker,
no,
fucking this guy.
the one that I hear sometimes Americans say that I'm like, please don't. They're like,
Yeah.
twat. I'm like,
Twat, yeah.
I'm like, it's a twat. Yeah, don't say it, please. Have you ever had any like, because you both have American GFs, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever had any like weird thing, like cultural difference that you've like stumbled across? You're like, why do you do this?
I mean, I didn't have it with Aki, but like, as I mentioned earlier, like my first couple of like YouTube friends
Yeah,
were
yeah.
Americans, right?
Yeah.
And before then, I didn't really have like international friends. Like all of my friends were just Aussies,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah,
And so like when you speak a lot of like, especially in Australian slang, right,
Yeah.
which is like pretty much a different language in and of itself,
Yeah.
in your head you're just like, oh yeah, this is just a universal word that you use. So I remember like saying a bunch of slang to my like American YouTuber friends, like I don't know if you guys say like Arvo.
No,
No,
that's Australian.
Okay.
That's definitely Australian.
Okay.
That's too uncivilized.
It's peasants language.
Unironically peasant.
Yeah, so like we say like, instead of like 5 in the afternoon, we say 5 in the arvo.
You're just cutting out stuff that doesn't need to be cut out.
Yeah.
Like it's
Afternoon is too long of a word.
Oh my
Just
God.
say arvo. It's 2
that's got
syllables.
more. That's got more than 4 letters. No, thank you.
Yeah, and so I said like, so, obviously my American friends were like, what time is it in Australia right now? And I'm just like, oh, it's like 3 in the arvo. And they're like, 3 in the arvo? What's an arvo? And I'm like, oh my God, they don't say arvo. So I was like, 3 in the afternoon. Do you understand? And they're like, oh yeah, in the afternoon.
Do you understand?
Do you understand? Are you YouTuber?
It's been really funny seeing how like when I first joined the internet, like the British accent was like praised, and now it's just meme to shit.
Yeah.
Like everyone's
What do
like
you
Tuesday.
Oh yeah, YouTube.
Well, that's the thing is, right?
Water.
It's because I think Americans only thought that like the southern,
Yeah,
RP
the posh,
English,
the posh
yeah.
southern accent.
and then they realized that like 90% of the UK sounds disgusting. Like it actually does. Like my dad's from Liverpool, and when I like go there, I'm
Yeah.
like, I hate this. I hate
they,
hearing
they
this.
speak a different language over there. The more north, I'm gonna insult the fucking north now because I'm a
I love the
southerner.
north, but some of the accents I hate.
Like the more further north you go, the more I'm like
Up until
man,
Scotland.
Up to Scotland, the more I'm like, man, I know we're speaking the same language, but for some reason I cannot understand what we're saying, even though we're both apparently speaking English right now.
Yeah, I remember we were watching a TV show with Aki, and
Yeah.
it was like dudes from Yorkshire,
Yeah.
and me and you were having no problem understanding.
Yeah.
Them.
Yeah.
And Aki was like, "Is there subtitles? I can't understand what they're saying."
I showed her like Monty Python's Holy Grail,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she was like, "I need to put subtitles on."
Yeah.
She's like, I legitimately can't understand
that's like
what they're
good
saying.
accents though.
Yeah.
like, they're like
Yeah.
clean.
And she was like, no, it's because it's an old movie and the audio is bad. I'm like, it's got nothing to do with I can hear it fine. It's but one thing I will never fucking understand. I'm sure a lot of Americans will like understand this, but like when you say to an American, what is like the sexiest accent? Like what is like an accent that you want like people to like whisper into your ear?
Yeah.
For some reason, Australian accent is always like the top.
that's like the
and I'm
bottom.
just like, what the fuck are you on about? Australian accents are fucking disgusting.
Australians like on like bottom 3.
It's like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
you're only thinking Australian accent because you're thinking like Chris Hemsworth, right? Like it's like yeah, of course, everyone wants Chris Hemsworth to whisper into their ear.
Of course.
But Chris Hemsworth is like the 0.001% of Australians.
As is every British actor.
Yeah,
and
right.
everything like that.
And
right?
it's like it's like, I think I saw like an article was like the top 3 are like Australian, British, and Irish. And I'm
Scottish
just
is pretty good too.
Scottish is like I understand Scottish and Irish because
Yeah.
I think that's like kind of cute as
I
well.
like Scottish and Irish.
Yeah, Scottish and Irish are really, really nice, right?
Yeah.
But like, I hear like the majority of British accents and the Australian accent. I'm just like, nah, I can't.
I mean, I grew up in the north, and like I was surrounded by those accents.
yeah,
Yeah.
And that's why I get mocked when I go back. They're like, "You're not from here."
Yeah, you definitely don't sound like the area that you're from.
no.
And I don't know if that evolved over the time.
It did. If you go back to my very first YouTube video, I sound like someone from the area that I grew up
Oh
in.
yeah, when I
Right.
first met you, you had like quite a heavy like Welsh accent.
Yeah, I wasn't even Welsh. She was like more northern, but like, because the Welsh accent sounds like this, you know. They talk like this,
yeah.
and I never sounded like this.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
everyone
yeah.
in my village talked like this.
Yeah.
But you definitely didn't sound like you do now.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I sounded like more, just like general northern English.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I've lost my accent quite a bit. People say
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
'cause when I look back at old videos, I'm like, ew.
yeah.
So, it's so
I
strong.
think because you like really iron out your like, you enunciate a lot more.
Yeah, I
You
think
kind
that's
of-
it's just the YouTuber accent, right? Where you have
Yeah.
to like stop mumbling and start paying attention to what you're saying
Speaking
because
clearly.
people
Yeah.
from all different races are gonna be like listening to you.
yeah.
because like the word literally,
yeah.
in Australia we say literally.
Yeah, that's how I
Yeah,
say
that's
it.
the-
Literally.
that's
But
how
I
we say
can't
it as
say
well.
literally anymore. I have to say literally. I don't know why. And my dad gave me so much shit for it the last time I was home. He's like, "What the fuck did you say? Literally, you sound like a fucking American, man." I was like, "Say literally like a true Aussie." I'm like, "All right, thank you for your patriotism, Dad."
I got accused on one of the comments. They were like, Connor isn't from Wales. Connor, no one. I'm from where Connor is. No one speaks like that. That's
Right.
fake.
Yeah.
And like, it just didn't cross their mind that like your accent can evolve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I think there was a study that was done in Antarctica where they like sent, when they go to the scientists go,
Yeah.
and they wanted to see from all these European scientists like what would happen to their accents
Right.
over like the 3-month period, and it would find like normally they would all for some reason pick up one person's accent the most,
Right.
and they
Yeah.
would generally start to talk the way they did.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it is. Like it can quickly change your accent if you're
Oh,
not
yeah,
surrounded
yeah.
by people who sound.
And I
the same.
think that's why like I've lost my accent a lot of the times
Yeah.
because I have spent like just from what I do, I've spent more time with non-Aussies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
spent a
have
lot of time in
Aussies.
London, and then spent a ton of time in Japan, ton of time around
It's
America.
like,
Yeah.
there's words like that I pick up from like, British English and like
Right,
American
right,
English.
right.
And
Yeah.
it kind of just becomes like a conglomerate of just
Yeah.
a bunch of different languages and
Exactly.
accents, right?
It's just kind of mixture of like internet language as well.
Pretty
now that
much.
we're on the internet so
Pretty
often.
much, yeah.
Like I'm sure if I moved back to England, my accent would like
Slowly
morph
devolve,
slowly
yeah.
back Slowly back into more of a British
I have
accent.
noticed that though when I go back to Australia and I talk to like my high school friends or whatever, I just immediately kick into like Australian. Like I remember when I met Rubber Ninja, Ross.
Yeah.
You know, he's an Aussie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's been living in America for so long that his natural accent is just American now.
Yeah.
But I remember the first time I met him at AX, the moment he heard my accent, he was like, "Oh yeah, man!" He just fucking like he just completely changed to an Aussie, and I was just like, "You could talk like this the entire time," and I reckon like more people would be like into
Yeah,
it.
that happened to me when I went back to Wales. I definitely like regained some of my older accent.
Yeah,
which I didn't like. I don't like my old accent. I prefer this one. I like that I speak clearly and like, you know.
Yeah, like
it's
more
like-
concisely. Yeah.
Yeah.
More of a voice acting accent.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's more
Which you need.
generalized and allows me to
Yeah.
say words easy.
Yeah.
Before I struggled with words. So, you know.
So then I'm curious how, like, since you guys have moved to Japan, right? About like your lifestyle changes. Like, I think it's because doing YouTube here, I feel, is completely different to doing YouTube anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because we have like an agency here that keeps us in check.
Yeah.
Because I'm my own worst enemy. And if I can be lazy, I will be lazy.
Yeah.
So having an agency has really helped me like just stay responsible, you know, and I don't want to let them down.
Right.
Not that I was letting myself down anyway. But like, I doubly don't want to fuck up because Maylene will kill me.
Yeah.
And also having like Japanese class 2 times a week that I have to be awake. I have to be there by 9, so I have to be awake at like 7:30 to get there.
Which
like,
I did this morning, by the way.
Yeah, which I did this
Which
morning.
you do every morning.
I do
before
every
you
morning
record.
before we record the podcast.
Yeah.
So like I basically have no choice but to maintain like a healthy lifestyle. Before coronavirus shit, I was going gym like 5 times a week. I was so hyped for that, and now I don't care.
Yeah, I know, because I don't want to go to a gym and fucking have to run in a mask, right? Like, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, I mean,
And you can't even do it outside anymore because it's like 35 fucking degrees
Yeah,
with like
yeah.
80% humidity.
I just like don't. Every time I've been working out recently, I'm like, it's just shit. I'm not doing a good job.
It just feels bad where you would
I
make
don't
such
enjoy it,
good
yeah.
progress and then you have to take like 2 months off.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
go back to the gym and you're like.
I was
you're-
getting so many gains, bro. My arms were getting beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, we were all going to the gym together,
Yeah.
and it was just, it's just sad now that that's the case.
But overall, other than that, I mean, like it's, I don't know what exactly it is. If it's just the different time zone that's forced me to, I can't talk to Americans as much as I used to.
Yeah.
I have to take care of myself. I eat better here just because there's more healthy options. Like the whole thing where you like, you know, why are people so thin in Japan? It's just because the healthier food is more readily available and you walk a shit ton.
Yeah.
you really have to like search for crap food here, right?
I don't think you do.
You don't, but
Like
there's
go to the Konbini and
Yeah.
half the shit in there will make you fat as fuck.
I guess,
but
but
it's just like whereas in the UK it was like you had to pay a lot and find the healthy food. It's like
Yeah.
it's equally distributed where it's like you can have extremely healthy food and right next to it's the bad stuff, and it's like it's not a question of can I get it? It's do I want to get the healthy food?
yeah, it's not like in America where like, you know, a McDonald's is like readily available 5 minutes down the road.
Right,
But
right,
you
right.
have to like fucking look up, like you have to go deep on
Right,
Yelp
right,
to
right.
find
Yeah.
like a vegan restaurant.
I
right?
mean that's the TLDR of why I think people are thin in Japan is you walk a fuck ton and there's way healthier food.
Yeah.
It's way more
it's
readily
just
available.
a lifestyle thing where people because you're surrounded by people who have a much healthier lifestyle, you kind of like they kind of goad you into having a more healthy lifestyle as
Yeah,
well.
because everyone else around
Yeah.
you is not eating like shit and not like
Yeah.
sitting indoors all day, right? Like when I order a Domino's pizza and then Joey's like, "Yeah, I had a salad." I'm like, "Fuck." I mean,
you
show
mean
me
last
out.
night?
Yeah.
No, yeah. I had like a meal last
Smashed a
night.
matsuya last night.
Dude, Matsuya is my favorite place on earth. It's the best.
Do you wanna explain Matsuya?
So there's like 3 like beef bowls.
There's the big 3,
The big,
basically.
the big 3 of like beef bowls and just general like meat and rice,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
fast
yeah.
food chains.
So there's Matsuya, Yoshinoya, and oh my god, what's the third one?
Tsukiya?
Skiya. That's
Yeah.
it. Skiya.
Everyone on like the vlog channels be like, go to Yoshinoya. Like, no, don't go to Yoshinoya. Let me tell you why Matsuya is the best straight away. First of all, in Yoshinoya, you have to speak to people. I don't like that.
Right.
You have to like tell the person what you want. I'm not for that. I like it when the machine takes my order and I give the man the ticket and I don't say anything.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
get
yeah.
my meal, right? Like,
Right.
I love that, first of all, because it's an English option as well. Not that like, you know, everything should have an English option. I'm not here for that. I'm just saying that it's nice that I don't have to worry when I'm eating. Because sometimes in Japan, you're just like, fuck, man, I just want to order without having to shit myself.
Japan makes it, like, a lot of places in Japan make it very easy just to not have human interaction.
Yeah. Which I appreciate so much.
Which I, as a British person, that's fan-fucking-tastic. What I hate, though, also as a British person, in any restaurant in Japan, if they don't have a button that calls the waiter to you, you have to call them yourself. And so in England, the etiquette is that you try to be as quiet as possible. You like look for eye contact. Okay, you look for like, excuse me, yeah.
Even the hand's a risky move.
Oh, like, even the hand.
You're kind of making a scene there in Britain.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like it's a lot of this. It's like
yeah. Like, you want the bill? It's like. Okay, like, and that's as much as you do to get a waiter's attention. In Japan, you gotta shout out. You gotta shout out at the top of your lungs. Sumimasen!
Dude, Koreans are like laughing their ass off right now. They're like, these peasants don't know how to shout. But the worst part is that like me and Gon will go like, I'll go like full volume, like sumimasen, and like silence. Joe will go, sumimasen, and then they'll just like they're like coming over at the speed of light. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't get that because like last week we went to like an izakaya afterwards, like after we finished recording, and because it's the izakaya that doesn't have the button, so Connor and Gunn were just like, with this shit again. It's like self-fulfilling prophecy the moment you sit down, right?
It's like, I know that it's okay to shout publicly, like to get their attention, but like my body has been like crafted over
it's conditioned.
To never ever make any public disturbance.
Oh no, it's the same in Australia as well. So like I remember like the first couple of years I lived here, like I never did it. I always just kind of just did this, like a lot of the eye contact, like nodding thing.
Because in Japan they just don't want to make eye contact. They do everything to avoid eye contact. So doing that's impossible. So every time I have to shout out, I die a little bit.
I think my life expectancy goes down by a few months every time I sumimasen, and especially if it fails. But then, have you ever had the pity one where I've said it like sumimasen and then they won't ignore me, but one of the customers will have heard me and he'll go like sumimasen and he'll like point at me and go like, he wants your attention.
No, I've never had that.
I'm white as fuck, dude. She's like, I'll help the foreigner out. I'll give him a dub. But anyway, back to Matsuya, the best place in Japan. You basically can get like a banger of a meal that fills you up to like the brim for like $8 maybe, like less if you want to get the cheaper ones, like even less. Like there's the set I go for, it's like you get this like, oh, it's amazing, this grilled ginger pork and like rice. You get a potato salad, you got a tonjuru, which is like miso soup with extra shit in it. It's amazing. I fucking love that shit. It's so clean.
But like you can get like a regular like beef bowl with all of that for like 600
yen. Like nothing. If you want to go ham, you can get it, and like you can like
it's like less than $10.
You can like double that bitch up as well for like an additional like $2, and it's like a whole pig. It's like amazing. I love it. Like every time I come in, like shit, Connor's coming in. Get the whole pig carcass out, like because I'm like max everything because I'm like I want meat and rice. I'm there. It's so good. And Yoshinoya get these like pathetic little bowl sizes. It's like, what am I gonna do?
No, I like Skia.
Okay. Yoshinoya and Skia are good. I just think Matsuya is like the best.
Oh yeah. But like but that's because you don't order like what they specialize in.
No.
You get like the side menu shit, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
Because in terms of like actual like beef bowls, like gyudons, like I reckon Skia and Yoshinoya have it better than Matsuya.
Man.
Just saying.
Oh, we're
gonna make a fucking Japanese fast food tier list here.
I'm in out for that.
We should do a video of one of it. You can go Sukiya, you can go Yoshinoya, I'll go Matsuya, and I'll be like, this is what you get.
We just argue, like, which one's the best.
We'll take each other to each chain, and then we'll be like, this is what we're getting.
This is the best one.
Yeah. No, I remember this one time. I went to this very like local place in Sydney because this was when we were staying outside of Japan. Oh no, not outside of Tokyo. So it was a bit more in the countryside. So we went in this like we were craving ramen, so we were looking for like a local ramen place, and we go to this place. Obviously, neither of us can speak Japanese or read it too well, so we go to this place and the entire menu is handwritten in kanji. Okay.
Hell yeah.
And so we
I
had
love
to,
that because I've learned the kanji for the numbers. I'm like big brain.
No, but like we had to kind of try to figure out what everything is. And so we pick something that's, looks reasonable because we were looking at the price, and the price was about 1,300 yen, which is about $13. Forgetting that in Japan, like ramen is cheap in Japan. It's super cheap. And we were ordering something that was like $13 when it should have cost
in the middle
like,
of nowhere.
Yeah, in the middle of nowhere.
Should
When
be
it-
like 700-800.
yeah,
yen,
when
right?
it should be like 700 or 800 yen, and we forgot that. And I remember we ordered it, and the waiter just looks at us, and I think he was asking, "Are you sure?" He was asking, "Are you sure you want this? You want this one? 2 of them for both of you?" And we were like,
You should have known at that point.
yeah. We just want some. It was like we just want ramen. Yeah, we want it. And so he goes back. He says something to the chef, and the chef's eyes just goes, "Okay." Like it was just like, "Oh, you serious?
They
you
get
serious?"
both their keys out and unlock the safe together. Like,
Crack the net.
Yeah. So what comes out is they bring us this like extra large ramen, and then with it was just this extra large beef bowl. and then he brings out one of them, puts it in front of me, and I just think, I've made a massive mistake. I look at Sydney. Sydney's just staring at this bowl, being like, Sydney seems like, we ordered 2 of those, to 1 each, because it would be impossible for one of us to finish this, let alone 2 of us finishing both of them.
Yeah.
And so we bring it out, and he brings it over to Sydney, and I don't know what the etiquette is if you don't finish your food, but we fucking try to devour as much as we can. We don't even get through half of it.
Oh my
and
God.
we feel so fucking bad.
Yeah.
We're getting the bill. It was the most shameful bill of all time. We're like, it's oishii, oshikatta desu,
So are you sure about that? Are you sure?
Okay, bitch.
we didn't even make a fucking dent in this. But
Oh my god, dude, I've never experienced that because like I would rather like behead myself than leave food in a Japanese place. I don't know why. I'm so scared of it. Like one time in Matsuya, funny enough, I accidentally ordered 2 of like the double L size sets,
Right.
which is like
Way too much food.
it's
for one
like I think
person.
it's near 4,000 calories.
Jesus.
Like it is like a mountain of rice and I don't know how I accidentally did this. I should have realized by how much I paid. And it came and I was like, fuck. But I wasn't even that hungry. I was like, shit. And so I like forced this inside of me.
Yeah,
And I was like, when I got home, I threw up. But like in the restaurant, I was like, if you can imagine like a dude literally like if his esophagus was full, I was literally like, like drinking the miso soup to like push it down. You know what I mean? I was like, give me more water. I need to push this shit down with water. It was horrible. I thought I was gonna die. They must have been looking at me like at me crying in a Matsuya. Like, why is he still eating it?
That's just like the most British thing I've ever heard. Would rather throw up from eating too much food than feel the shame of leaving food on the plate.
I would rather throw up in like an alleyway than like order way too much clearly and then have to give them it back and be like throw it away. You know? I'd rather, like okay, was it very unhealthy and extremely questionable? But you know, sometimes you have to make a decision.
But
in
I
your
got the
life.
respect from those Matsuya.
But when I said "gochiso sama deshita," I fucking meant that shit. When I left, I'm like walking out like, like my bowls stacked on top of each other. I've never eaten that much food in my life.
I'll tell you the one place I don't feel shameful for leaving food on the plate though, and that's whenever I go to America and just witness the food sizes there for everything. Like,
I had that in fucking Chicago when I was at a Cardinal Delete.
I'm sure it's no surprise to Americans that their food portions.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I had that in Chicago when I ordered deep dish pizza for the first time, and like because we had never ordered it, right? Most of us never ordered it. We were like, oh yeah, it's just the same as a regular pizza. So it's like what, 7 of us there? Yeah, we'll get 5 deep dish pizzas.
It looks awful. Am I crazy? Does it taste terrible?
It tastes good, but
it tastes great for the first slice.
Yeah,
and then,
but one slice is like eating a whole pizza. Basically, because it's literally just a whole pizza just stacked on top of one slice.
I've had like the kind of deep ones, but not like there where it looks.
Oh
like,
no, we had the fucking deep dish.
It's basically a basin for the sauce, right? Like it's like
it's a pizza lasagna. That's what it is.
But like at that point, it's like the best part of the pizza is the synergy between the elements. The synergy.
What are you talking about?
Bro, the way the bread, the cheese, and the sauce is like the perfect amount. You get the best bite. If there was one too many of those
like a
elements,
fucking pizza theologist right here.
dude, I'm telling you, man. Like if there's too much sauce, you got to drink the pizza. What's up with that?
I like the saucy pizzas though.
No.
Like the extra sauce pizzas, but I will admit that deep dish was like, damn, like
Could you put a straw in it and drink it?
probably.
That
I
shouldn't
mean,
happen.
it goes in layers. Like, I didn't realize why so many Americans called pizzas pies.
Yeah.
Until I had a deep dish pizza, and I was like, oh, this is a fucking pie.
This is a pizza
Is that
pie.
where, is that where it came from? Is that
Yeah,
where-
I think so.
I'm not sure, but I was definitely eating a pie that was shaped like a pizza.
Flavored pie.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much, yeah.
Exactly.
But I remember as well, like when I went to Texas for the first time, and we went to like, I don't remember what the Italian restaurant was, but it was like a big Italian restaurant, and like portion sizes in America are no. Portion sizes in America are already big, right?
Yeah.
But in Texas, it's like hold my beer.
Yeah.
Levels of fucking food, right? So we went to
Yeah.
this Italian restaurant, and it was Misty's birthday.
Yeah.
So we went to an Italian restaurant, and we were like getting all this food. And you know, normally when you go to an Italian restaurant anywhere, right, it's like you order like one bowl of pasta each, right? Like
Yeah.
whatever you want.
Yeah,
Maybe
of course.
share it around or whatever. No.
Yeah.
In this Italian restaurant, it's like one dish of pasta is like can feed like an Ethiopian family for like a year. Like
my God.
it is an insane. It's like too much pasta.
Yeah.
And we thought that was already ridiculous. Like we couldn't even finish that shit. But then we wanted to order a cake, right? And we saw, oh, they sell tiramisu here. And Misty's like, yeah, I want a tiramisu. And normally when you order cake at a restaurant, it's like one slice, right?
Yeah.
No, they brought out the whole fucking cake. It was like, it was legitimately like this big and like this deep.
How much was it?
It was like $20.
What the fuck?
It was like, and I was just like, I think we ordered wrong. And they were like, no, there's only one tiramisu on the menu. So it must mean
Just
this.
ordering a cake.
That's like just like the only option of anything is a crate of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just want a bit of it. Like
And I'm just like, and I thought like, you know, oh, maybe it's like a little bit, like, maybe it's like a really fancy tiramisu, right? Because of the price. But no, I wasn't expecting like fucking grandma to like bust into the fucking restaurant, just be like, here you go.
that's like so sometimes when I'm with Americans in America and they're like, yeah, that place is way too expensive. You get ripped off, and I'm like, bro, I got like enough to feed my whole family. What do you mean? Like, in my head, I'm like, no, you didn't get ripped off. You've been to France, bro. You get like one string of pasta and sauce, and they charge you $20 for that shit.
Would you like 6 snails for €20?
Yeah. Like I'm like in Europe, like you don't get that for that much.
Oh,
like it's
no.
rare. Like I mean, to me, yeah, LA was super expensive, but I always got a shit ton of food, so I was like, fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, I remember having to learn the hard way that you just never order appetizers when you go to an American restaurant. Because there's been...
It's a meal.
Yeah, because why'd you call it appetizers when it's like as big as the main course? I don't get it. Like in every other part of the world, you order you have like a 3-course meal sometimes, you know, if you're
Yeah.
feeling frisky. In America, you order one thing off the menu, and that one thing can feed a fucking family for a week.
One thing I
swear to
could
God.
never fucking believe was the concept of bottomless fries at a fast food restaurant.
Bottomless everything.
Bottomless everything. Like already, like free refills was like a whoa concept because in Australia, there's no fucking restaurant that gives you free refills,
all of
right?
Europe.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, it's free refills and bottomless fries. I'm like, what does bottomless fries
I just realized
mean?
this episode is like British and Australian people discover America. the
Yeah.
podcast. What's up with all of this stuff?
Because I was so used to ordering like a large drink at like a cinema, right? Like in
Yeah,
Australia,
yeah.
because you could actually
Yeah,
finish
yeah.
it. A large drink in a fucking American cinema is like they might as well have just given you
Wait.
like 4 liters of Coke, right?
You just like blew my mind. I had another thing. I found out in the cinemas in America,
Yeah.
you can refill your popcorn in some of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? No.
Why is this allowed?
Like, I was like, what? Why did I buy the large then if I can just refill it?
Yeah, okay, here's the concept I never understood, right? Like, you go to any restaurant, right? Usually it's free refills, right?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
just a drink machine
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But there's small, medium, and large size cups.
Yeah, why would you not just get the small
Why would
and
you not
refill
just
it?
get a small cup? And then I asked Aki, and she's like, "Oh, some people are just too lazy to get up to get a refill."
What?
And I'm just like, "Are you? It's like 20 cents extra, dude. Like, are you really that lazy that you just be like, yeah, I'll pay a little bit extra so I can sit for longer."
All Americans are watching this. They're like, is this? Do you agree with the points that we're making? Are you frustrated?
That's
that we
what
don't
I've
under-
heard from another American, and I've heard from multiple Americans.
I don't get buttered popcorn. I don't think it tastes good.
I just don't eat while I go to the cinemas.
You don't? It's like I have to eat.
I maybe get like a packet of candy or something or whatever, but like I never get popcorn.
I need popcorn when I go to the cinema, or
Really?
I don't want to go.
I'm the guy who never actively goes out and buys popcorn, but when someone like offers it, I'm like, okay, let me just chow down this shit.
No, dude. In my head, it's like it's not the cinema experience unless I get popcorn, and that's probably because they've conditioned me to think that way.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like it.
I mean, do you watch a movie at home and do you have to have popcorn when you're having it?
No.
So why do you have to have it in the cinema?
Because I'm
cinema?
going there. It's an experience. I need to have the popcorn. Maybe I don't need
I think I've just been conditioned from Australia because popcorn in Australian cinemas was stupidly expensive.
I was in the UK.
And, yeah, right. And it's like, and as like a high school student, it's like you can't afford.
Yeah, okay.
like,
High school I couldn't, and I think because maybe my parents never ever wanted to buy it.
Yeah,
Right,
Because
right.
you'd almost be paying a fucking mortgage to get like this popcorn and drink. Set
What was it?
in
It was like £10 in the UK, which is like nearly like what, like $14?
Yeah, it was something
Yeah.
like that.
Which
in
is
Australia
way
as well.
more than in America, right?
Yeah, like a large popcorn in Australian cinemas usually costs more than the actual ticket to go watch the movie.
Yeah, I did in
Yeah.
the UK.
Yeah, and I'm just like, why? I'll just go down to the fucking supermarket like
Yeah.
below and just sneak shit in. And so much
I don't
cheaper.
know. It just doesn't taste as good. I don't know, man. When you bring your own shit in, it just tastes kind of like flat, you know? It's like, just
I'm sorry,
pathetic.
we peasants won't understand.
Yeah, you peasants wouldn't get it. As a wealthy 1800s Victorian lord of the land, I must say.
But no, like in America, did you ever go to an American cinema?
Yeah, I did,
Where
yeah.
where they would have like so I went to a cinema in Wisconsin, and they would just have these butter machines where you could just
Yeah,
basically
you could, like, press it. I was so confused.
Like pour just like as much butter as you can on the popcorn.
We had that. In Vegas, we had one that had butter, but also lard. And I'm just like, ew.
Lard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just pure fat?
Yeah.
Maylene, is this a thing in your
Yeah.
country?
They put.
Never seen.
I saw it. It was in Vegas and
Why
like
would you
another
just-
state.
Why
I
would
saw.
you just want to put lard on it?
Because it
Wait,
makes it like
American-
extra greasy.
Americans, is this true?
What is this?
Yes, it is.
Is this true?
No. I saw it in another state too. Like I don't think it's common because I only saw it like very, very rarely.
Yeah.
But it was like some kind of like lardy, like fatty substance that was sitting next to the butter. I'm like, is butter not fat enough for you? That you need extra fat and extra grease in your popcorn.
I remember like I picked it up and I was like, ugh, my hands are oily.
Yeah.
My hands shouldn't be oily. It's popcorn.
It was like
Yeah.
touching the back of like an oven, right?
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
just
like-
gross.
it was like the deep fried oil shit. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, what the fuck? I ruined my whole popcorn. I put that shit on because everyone was doing it. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it must taste good.
And it's fucking horrible as well. Like you can't put that shit on your lap because then the grease starts to like seep through the
I didn't
bottom
put
of the
that much
bucket.
on, luckily.
Okay, well, while we're ranting about American things, okay, American cheese sauce.
We're gonna lose all our
What?
subs.
Okay, what
Okay, that
is
is-
American spray?
Ew!
What is American spray cheese? I'm just there's something that I don't understand about America, and then there's the spray cheese that Americans apparently love.
I
put on
always
them-
thought the spray cheese shit was just like shit you'd see in the movies. And then I went to a Walmart for the first time and I saw it. I'm like, it can't be.
But they're always like, no, it tastes amazing on Cheez-Its. That's what they always
Yeah.
say. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, no, it should never be in a can.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or when I remember I was staying at someone's house in America, and they were like, "Do you want a grilled cheese?" I was like, "Oh, I love a grilled cheese."
Yeah.
And then they gave it to me, and I'm like, "You put the plastic shit on, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like you put the cheese singles, didn't
Yeah.
you? Like, yeah, that's cheese." I'm like, "That's not cheese. Look on the back. It's 4% cheese maximum. I guarantee it. That's not cheese."
Yeah.
Like
Just because it says cheese flavoring, it doesn't mean it's cheese.
And I went to the supermarket, and there was like a kilogram of cheddar for like $2 or something.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you have proper cheese.
What do you mean?
Why not use it?
They're like,
Put it
they're
on your
like- Yeah, because
nachos.
they were like, I'm too lazy to cut it. I think they told me.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's get a knife. What do you mean? It's too lazy to cut
Buy
it.
utensils.
I literally would like cut that shit. Like I
Yeah.
would grab the block out of just peel the wrapper and just cut it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't even
Like a normal human being.
Yeah, like why are you making this difficult? America, explain.
Because I
Explain.
asked one of my American friends when I saw it at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, "What do you put this on? Like,
Yeah.
like what
Burgers.
does this
Burgers
thing?"
is the only thing that I'll let you do it.
No, what I was like, what is
No,
like
no,
what?
it doesn't even touch my burger.
Yeah, no, it's not
Don't
gonna
touch
touch my
I don't
burger.
want it, but I'll take it on a burger.
No, I won't even take it on a burger, dude.
Yeah.
I'll
You've
put
been to
that shit
Denny's
back.
or McDonald's. It's all.
I
on the
never get
burgers.
anything cheesy at Denny's or McDonald's in America.
I don't give a shit on burgers. Burgers, it's fine. I'm used to that.
But like, I was like, "What do you put this spray cheese on?" And they were like, "Oh, we don't put it on anything. We just go like this and put it in our mouth." I'm just like, "You are an absolute
this is
monkey."
Why, this is right. You know, like we got a lot of comments that were like, "Why does Connor think Americans are like another species?" It's
Because
I
you
do.
are.
It's 'cause there's so many things to me that as like a British person, I'm just so baffled by when Americans explain it to me, and Yeah, there's just so many things. I'm just like, what?
America.
I'm gonna offend so many people with this podcast.
America is
I
another
love,
planet.
I love Americans, but there's just general life stuff that's
Yeah.
just like, what?
Every
Yeah.
time I go to America, I'm like, this is another planet. Like, I can't relate to these.
But
people.
okay, on a side note, there's also so many fucking things I love about America.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Right,
of
there
course,
definitely
of
are.
course. Like, I'm not gonna be like, I'm never gonna go
Yeah,
back to
yeah,
America.
yeah.
Of course, I
Like-
love America.
I think I've never had met friendlier people than in America. Like
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
the UK, it's my home, but
Yeah.
damn, are people fucking depressed?
Oh
there.
yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
dude, I get the best elevator
I-
experience in America.
No, exactly. You feel so fucking happy and
I
bright
love-
talking to
yeah, man.
Americans, and I'm like, man, maybe they're onto something. Here.
Yeah.
We clown on their food, but damn, man, some places they give you some fucking amazing
Oh,
food.
dude, like, I'll clown on their food, but if someone was like, you want a Philly cheesesteak? I'm like, hell yeah, I want a Philly
man.
cheesesteak.
You want to go
Like-
Chick-fil-A? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
of
do.
course I do. Like, Five Guys, of course I
Oh my
want it.
god, Five Guys, bro.
I fucking love Five Guys.
We
like,
all love Five
destroying my body has never felt so fucking good until I discovered Five Guys, man.
The best way to experience Five Guys is at like 3 a.m. You're absolutely hammered from the booze, and you're like, I need something in my stomach. Oh, Five Guys. You go to Five Guys, you get the greasiest fucking burger, and while you're eating it, it's like it's like
That's the Cajun fries, man. It's the Cajun
fries as well. There's Cajun fries, but also the burger. Just the combination of those two is like the best fucking thing in the world. But I've never experienced like life and death at the same time while eating something. You know what I mean? It's like every bite I take, I'm like, oh god, I'm so glad I'm alive. But then the moment it goes down my esophagus, I'm like, fuck, I want to die right now. Holy shit.
I really want to do a road trip around the US because it seems like there's so many like diverse cultures and cool shit that they get up to.
Every time I go to a new state, I always try and go to like a fast food chain that's like specific to that state, just because it's so different.
Like I know you guys don't like In-N-Out, but I fucking love In-N-Out.
It's not that I don't like In-N-Out, I just think it's a bit overrated.
I've never had it.
It's a bit overhyped, but
It's just like, it's good,
but
but it's not something to like froth
dude,
over. You know?
I love it, dude. Whenever like I go to LA and if Evan picks me up, I'm like, Evan, let's go In-N-Out right now. I want to go In-N-Out right now.
You know what's a really good burger chain in Texas? They have this burger chain called Whataburger.
Yeah, they've.
I've heard about
Yeah.
that.
Wait,
Yeah,
they have it
yeah.
in California as well. They didn't know.
Yeah, but it was like originally in Texas.
okay.
And
Yeah.
like Whataburger is like fucking awesome. Like the spicy sauce that they have is so good.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm dying, but every single day I feel so happy with the food I've eaten in America.
Yeah.
But then I guess that would wear off if I lived there every day.
I
right?
think so, yeah.
Maybe. I just feel so happy in the US. I'm like, the food's amazing. Everyone's so kind. The hotels are so spacious. Dude,
yeah.
in London, you pay like $200 for like a closet.
Yeah.
If you're lucky. If
What
you're
do you mean?
lucky,
Like-
you might have your own toilet.
Like the hotel game in England is just weak, man.
it's the shittest thing on earth.
It's like
Yeah.
the business hotels here, right? It's like, would you like a
Yeah.
bed and a hallway? $200, please.
If you want a semi-competent hotel in London, you got to pay like £300.
Yeah.
Jesus
Or
Christ.
maybe £200 if you get lucky and find a good one.
Yeah.
But in
Right,
America, every single hotel I've been to, except I've never been to a motel, so I don't fuck with those.
Yeah.
Because that's where people die in films. I've had an amazing hotel experience.
That's
man.
where fugitives like hide out, right?
Yeah, every
Yeah.
single thing that's bad happens near a motel. So my brain has been taught, don't go to a motel.
Calling a motel a hotel is the equivalent of calling McDonald's a restaurant, right? It's like, no, it's not.
I remember I was gonna get a motel for like my first day X, and then the reviews were like, someone was shot outside my room, and there was cockroaches. 2 stars. I'm like, 2 stars. I'm like, how many people had to die for it to be 1 star? Like that was like what?
The only reason why it's a 2 star is because I didn't die.
The cockroaches didn't eat me alive in my
Yeah.
sleep. So
No, because I just feel like parts of LA just feel like another world. I don't
it's a
know.
war zone.
Yeah, it is, especially someone downtown LA.
I remember the first morning I woke up in like a hotel in LA. Like it was the hotel. It was one of those alarm clocks that like the radio starts to play. The moment
that's
that the
cool.
light comes, sun comes up, and all I heard was like, "It's a lovely morning here in Los Angeles. 3 people got shot last night. Have a good day."
It's
Just
weird.
like cool.
It's weird because when you listen to the radio, you're like, whoa, shit, GTA was like super accurate. Like, whoa, this sounds exactly like GTA when I listen to the radio in like on America.
Yeah, legitimate. I was like, afterwards, like after he said like, "Have a good day," I was just waiting for like the title screen music to just start
Yeah.
playing.
Because like I remember my first day in LA. Oh, like the first time I went to LA was for Anime Expo. I remember we were staying in this Airbnb in downtown LA. I remember the first day we went to get a taxi to the convention center. Me and Sydney were just waiting for our Uber outside, and then this homeless guy tries to start talking about this. Tries to start talking to us. I don't know what it is about homeless guys, not just in LA, but just in general. They speak another language. Like you can't understand what they're saying.
Tongues.
This is what English sounds like to non-English speaking people. That's the kind of language that they speak, and we're like. Sorry, we're like going off somewhere. So he walks off like about 5 minutes past us, whips his dick out, and just starts peeing. I'm like,
hell yeah!
What is going on here?
America.
What is happening?
I kind of had like a similar experience the first time I went to New York.
Yeah.
And I remember I was just walking down, I think it was 4th Street or somewhere, like one of the big Manhattan roads.
Yeah.
And I was just like walking around being like, oh, cool, like, this like every gangster movie, like this scenery. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Yeah. And then this woman just like taps me on the shoulder. And I'm like, yes, can I help you? And she's like, did you know that Jesus reincarnated in Korea in the 1940s? I'm like, go on.
I love it when those people talk.
And I just let her talk, and she was just going on. I was like, I didn't even know, because she sounded so sophisticated, but the shit that was coming out of her mouth was like, oh, you've done a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
So I was just really like enthralled. I'm like, wow, is this like a normal occurrence here? Like, I never get bored here if this happens.
To be fair, I had something like that in Japan.
Yeah.
Like 4 months ago.
Right.
I was walking. I had my headphones on. I was going to the gym. I clearly looked like I was going to go exercise. Right? I was dressed. And then I like heard something. I heard someone saying, hello. And I'm like, my brain clicked. I'm like, wait, no one would say hello normally. Like, it's like these 3 like 70-year-old women.
Yeah.
And they're like, are you English? Are you English? I'm like, yeah. What's up? What can I do for you?
Yeah.
And they like start showing me papers, and it's like poorly translated English that's like, some monk died or something, and they were like, let's go pray. I'm like, I'm going gym. I'm
gonna get my gains.
They're like, no, come to the park near us. Like, come to the park. We'll go and pray. Yeah. They were really nice about it, but I was like, bro, no, I said I'm going. To the gym. Let me go to the gym. They're like, no, we must pray now. Are
you serious?
Yeah. And then they were like, what do you do for work? And I was like, oh yeah, I do like voice acting shit, do like YouTube. And they were like, oh, cool. Let's go pray. Let's go pray. And then like, they just kept asking me like weird questions. And every single time I'd say anything, they're like, oh, cool. Let's go pray. And I'm like, no.
That's how cults start.
Yeah, right? They're like 4 foot. And I'm like, get away from me. You peasants.
Knock them over.
Peasants. Back off, peasants. I'm going to the gym. I won't hear any of this. And I have to think, it was something about like a warlord or something, and how he died for Mount Fuji and some shit. And I was like, what the fuck?
We live nowhere near Mount Fuji.
Yeah. I was so confused. I'm like, why do you want me to pray? And there's like, everyone will be praying in this park. They're like, really? Everyone will be praying there. We will help you pray. I'm like, what the fuck?
Who's everybody?
I was so confused. It was Japan, right? And I just never experienced anything like this in Japan. People don't approach you.
I mean, I experienced like shit like that in like Shinjuku or like Shibuya late at night,
like,
right?
It was like right outside my house, so I was like really worried that they like knew where I lived.
Right.
So I was like, it was literally like right outside my door. I'm like, they're like, where do you live? Show us where you live. They kept asking me.
My God.
I'm like, no.
as like the one foreigner in the area as well. That is instantly
so
recognizable.
Like there's no foreigners where I live. So like they were like, yeah, where do you live? And I'm like thinking like my house is right behind me. I'm like, over there. They're like, yeah, I'm like over there. And they kept asking me to pray. I was like, leave me alone. And when I kept walking away, they kept following me to the fucking gym. And then I went in the gym, and they finally left me alone because they obviously couldn't get in because you need a car.
Yeah. What if they just like whipped out the gym?
Let's pray.
As you do again. Let's pray.
I'm like, you know what? Fine. I'll pray if you spot me. Come on. Jesus Christ. I was like genuinely creeped out because I was worried that when I went in the gym that they were going to stay there until I was done. I was like, why me? Is it because I'm white? Like, leave me alone.
It's because you're finally the minority.
What did I do? Leave me alone, bro. That was way creepier than any like LA. Actually, no, that's pretty
the LA stuff's pretty creepy.
I mean, it's just because I'm so, as someone from England and basically, all of Europe and also Asia, it's pretty safe to walk around here. Anywhere you try to, if you need to go home or walk to a new bar, you just walk there.
Yeah.
In America, if you go, you can be at the nicest bar, and 1 block away, you can get shot or something if you just take a wrong turn.
Bro,
That's
I
what
was
it feels
I
like.
was so scared walking in San Francisco at like 1 a.m. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm like texting my friends being like, you can have my stuff, bro. Take my YouTube channel. Like, it's all over.
Here's the password.
It's 1 a.m. at San Fran, bro. I'm dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember I think it was AX 2 years ago where we had a hotel suite and we also had an Airbnb.
Yeah.
And it was only like 5 minutes walk away from each other.
Oh my God.
But
Your
that
Airbnb was so scary.
it was, wasn't it? It was a fucking great Airbnb. It was like the chillest Airbnb. We had a fucking pool table and everything.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like in the dodgiest area.
That was where like the homeless guy thing happened with me.
Because I remember like we were gonna go to your Airbnb for like
Yeah.
a house party, and you gave me the coordinates. I'm like, oh, it's just down the road. So we just start walking, and I'm just like, it's telling me to turn into this alleyway, and I'm just like, nah, gosh, just fucking with
And then
you.
it just gets darker and darker
Yeah.
and darker. Because I remember I invited John, Super Eye Patch Wolf, to the party as well.
Yeah.
And I gave him like the general area, right? And he was having trouble finding it. And I remember trying to run out to try and get him to come to the party.
Yeah.
And he was like down the road. So all he saw was some guy coming out in like this dark alleyway shouting, John! 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 And he just fucking turns around and just walks the other corner because I can't imagine what he was thinking.
I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
Yeah, he's like,
nah.
nah. Not today. Not today.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that was where like the homeless guy, the one I pushed over a homeless guy.
Oh, yeah, you fought a homeless
That sounds
guy.
terrible. I didn't fight him. I just pushed him over. This sounds terrible, by the way. Connor's just going around pushing over homeless people. So like, it was like 3 a.m. and I was walking
Yeah.
to the hotel from the Airbnb, and it was
Yeah.
already sketchy as fuck. This
Oh,
area.
yeah.
And there was like a woman crying on the floor in a corner, and like this guy with no shirt on, just shorts, like tattoos all over. He was like 4'10". Like
Yeah.
he
Right.
was small as fuck, and he was like malnourished. He had like no teeth, and he was just screaming at this girl, like threatening her in the corner. And I was like, well, shit, I have to like say something. Right?
Yeah.
And so in my awkward British self, I was like, hey, could you stop doing that? I think she doesn't like it. Is like what I said.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's like, who the fuck you think you are, man? Who the fuck you think you're like talking to me? He's like,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
like, I think he was like Hispanic or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like squaring up to me, and I was like, that man, come on, just leave her alone, man. Like she's clearly like not wanting to talk to you.
Yeah.
When I say talk, he was just screeching at her. I don't know what happened. She was
Yeah.
on the floor
Right.
crying. And so when he comes over to me, she runs off.
Yeah.
Great, she's gone. She's safe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the like, from what I can remember at the time, because I was a little drunk a bit.
Yeah.
He like is just, like this close to me,
Yeah.
shouting in my face, and I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen here? I'm just gonna walk away now.
Yeah.
And so like he grabs something from his pocket. I don't know what he's gonna do, so I just push him over and run away.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Because I'm like, fuck, I don't know what this guy's gonna do. Like, I'm scared as fuck. I don't know what's
Yeah.
happening. So
I
I'm-
would not have the balls to like be like, hey, can you stop, please?
Well,
Like,
because she was like, it was like no one else around,
Right.
and this
Yeah.
girl was crying her eyes out, and I was
Yeah.
like, well, hey man, hey, could you stop it? Like
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
And then he got already angry at me, and I was like, fuck, okay. And then I thought he was gonna like hit me or something, so I was
Yeah.
like, fuck.
It's,
pushed him.
if I see someone reaching for their pocket like that, I'd do exactly
Yeah,
that.
I think
I feel
everyone
bad.
would,
'Cause
yeah.
He didn't like
Yeah.
he didn't swing at me or anything, but he was going for his pocket, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
I'm like,
and I literally fucking sprinted
Yeah.
away. I like
Yeah.
ran around the corner.
Yeah.
I was like, in my hotel, I'm like,
yeah. Yeah, and to put this in perspective, like again, our Airbnb was like 5 minutes away from the Intercontinental or some
Yeah.
like very famous hotel chain.
Yeah.
So you just don't get something like this here or like in Europe.
No.
So we are just not used to this. That you have to literally drive 5 minutes down the road, not even 5 minutes down the road, because it's a 5 minute walk.
Yeah.
Just because this is the shit that can happen in between.
yeah, I learned my lesson. Just at that time, just probably not walking around.
Yeah.
Don't intervene if you're not willing to push someone over, I guess. I don't really know. I didn't feel great about pushing him over because he was way smaller than me. But,
Right.
but like, I don't know. I mean,
but if you never know if he was gonna like just pull out a gun.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
exactly.
the guy clearly was on something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he was out of it, like spouting nonsense. Like he wasn't talking English.
Right,
like
right,
I mean, he
right.
was trying to, but you know, I mean, I don't know what he was on, but it was scary.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. Anyway, is there anything you want to talk about, or is that where we should end it today?
I'm not trying to demonize homeless people. I think most of them are super chill and really
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
I just
Yeah.
had those 1 or 2 interactions that scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's all. I just want to make that out there before people shit on me.
In case there are any homeless people watching, yeah. He's cool with you guys. It's all right.
Also, any Americans as well?
Oh yeah. We say all this shit about Americans in America, but like we're okay with you guys.
This
all right?
is just the culture shock that we get
Exactly,
whenever we visit there for the first time or anything like that.
You guys are cool, right? For a lot of the time.
I love you, America. You're great.
Yeah, you're very entertaining in more ways than one.
we just have a lot of great stories to tell whenever we go there.
Yeah,
Something happens, man. Something always happens.
Something
in
always
America.
happens.
Yeah.
Something always
When
happens.
we get to the convention episodes, that's when the real
That's
when the real stories
We're
start
saving all the
coming
good
out.
stories for that. Yeah, definitely. In the meantime, though, thank you to all the patrons for this episode. As you can see, if you'd like your name on the screen right now, then feel free to go over to our Patreon if you want to support us.
Look at all these beautiful names.
all these beautiful.
Look at this. Look at this guy. Look at this guy's beautiful.
I like that guy.
Look at all these people that don't shit in pumpkins. Really proud of all you guys. Really proud.
If you don't shit in mailboxes, then consider signing up to our
Someone's
Patreon.
like, damn it.
It's like, guess I have to uninstall now.
If anyone else has a poop story in university,
No.
If you have a poop story in university, feel free to leave it on the subreddit. We'd love to hear it. And also follow us on Twitter as well.
Yeah, go follow Twitches, YouTube.
Yeah, man, all that good shit. It's all in the description.
We've been the Neanderthals, and this is Crash Taste.
We are the men who don't poop in mailboxes.
I don't do that now.
anymore.
I'm a changed man. All right, bye.
See ya.